killed him and threw him outside.
Cockroaches are tough, man.
I unloaded half a can of Raid directly into his face.
Yeah, like I was witness to this. I can say that it was ungodly what this thing stood up to, at least before we left.
It's like that fight in Alien with the Queen alien. It's what it felt like. Exactly what it felt like. Except instead of a flamethrower, it was a Raid can.
Got evicted into space now.
Yeah, I did. I did open the door and fling him out on the fly swatter.
Of all the metaphors, you went for 8.
Huh?
I'm just thinking. Just of all the descriptions of how you took on a bug, you went with alien.
Well, yeah, they're the space cockroaches, so it makes sense to, compare them to cockroaches.
Well, fair enough.
Wow, I
So, go on.
I just got an email from Wendy's because I'm a Wendy's fanboy, or not an email, a tweet from Wendy's, and I read it as Wendigos, and
I was about to say, if you're getting personalized emails from Wendy's, I'm a little concerned. Tweets are different, but damn.
Oh god, that would be great if Wendy's for the month of October just changed their name to Wendigos and they had like a special Wendigo burger or whatever. Actually, never mind. The context around that, I don't like.
Yeah, Wendigo burger would be human flesh.
Yeah, that would be concerning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't eat it, but
Soylent Green.
I have to turn off my lap, so my earphone.
So, how's everyone doing overall? Doing well?
Not the best day, but I'm pulling through.
Good. Good. That's good that getting through and all. So, we're a few minutes in. We had some expectation that Aldrin would be late. Oramus is also not in, so we'll just start if anyone's good, or you guys want to wait. What do you want to do?
Well, since we were talking about doing our character description, I thought about it, and you said we've been, it's been about a year in game. Mom celebrated her birthday, so I kind of want to see what the, in-game calendar looks like, so I can mark when her birthday would be. But I've thought about it, and I think it would be like late summer, just before autumn. But I'm gonna have to change her character sheet because she's past her birthday, so she's a year older than she was when we started this.
Almost certainly, yeah. She should be. Many of you probably are. But
all of us are. It's been a year.
Yeah. Well, it hasn't been a full year yet. Technically speaking, it might not have been, but for some, probably.
Lee actually got a year younger.
That's impressive. That is very impressive. So if you go to the world info under tools in the channels, and you go to the Google Doc, it's actually, I've got a calendar in there.
Oh, I hadn't seen that.
So yeah, world info, which I haven't updated in a while, so I apologize. And then the year 5131 which was when you guys met, and then the year 5132. And the current day mark is actually incorrect. I'll go ahead and fix that. But that gives you an idea of the various months, the 28 days, the new moons, full moons, etc.
Nice. I hadn't realized that was there.
Hmm?
I hadn't realized that was there. I'd only seen the world info.
Yeah. Yeah. It's there. I mean, I'm trying to make things good. I'm trying. But yeah, we get rid of current day because that is not the correct current day. In a couple days since. Welcome.
Hello.
Jeez, thank you. I thought that I was gonna have server issue for the rest of the fucking night.
You
I sent
never
Keon a
know.
text. I was like, oh god, no. I thought it was gonna be another one of those things where none of us could get online, and it's like, oh, fuck.
Well, I figured today would be a good day to do character descriptions again, and I was just discussing Molly's birthday because we
Her
talked about
birthday?
it here.
Yeah. So when do you think her birthday would be?
I'll have to look at it some more
Okay.
because, like I said, I wasn't going by the month so much because I didn't know when the months, were set, but more so by the seasons.
Mm-hmm. So would anyone like to describe their characters so that we can all have it out there? Do we want to wait till Allergen comes along and then just kind of, but basically, well, okay. You know what? I'm taking charge. I'm the dungeon master. So, you all, if you recall, had just watched a magic show in Hope and presumably had enjoyed it. Although he wasn't really doing anything too impressive. But you had indeed seen a magic show. You were, if I recall correctly, going off to speak with Bahamut so that you could inform him that you were going to go off and get the net. But you got sidetracked by a magic show.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I got sidetracked, you mean I dragged everybody along to see it?
Indeed. And you were even a victim of the magic show, having your face turned into light.
Yeah, that freaked Molly out a bit.
Mm-hmm. And Lee's mind got red, which is pretty cool, I mean, not really, but magic. But anyway, so you guys want to head off towards the castle to go speak with Mika?
I turned into a dove at the end of the act and had flown off to follow.
That's right, you're following him, yeah. He makes off into the city, soon meeting up in a desolate corner with his two assistants. And let's see, are you able? You would of course be able to understand what they're saying, yeah?
Yeah, I'm still me. I'm just a dove.
Certainly fair. They look at the coinage and say, "That was fantastic. I never even saw that one trick with the thing where you made the girl turn into other girls." And he says, "Yeah, I don't know what that was. It was very surprising. And oh boy, I think those folks were onto us." And he opens a flask and takes a shaking drink. And says, "Man, I think one of them's got magic." And they're like, "Oh no, that's bad. They're onto us." "What do you mean they're onto us?" "What? Oh no. Wait, Do you see those? And he points off, and there's 3 little kittens watching them. They're hiding behind like a barrel and behind a corner. Fion's little familiars are sneaking up on them slowly. And they're just staring back.
I'm gonna be landing on on the guy's shoulder.
You land on the shoulder and he goes, he doesn't swat you, but he's like, oh, I don't know what this is, and I don't like it.
She coos happily.
It's got murder in its eyes. Look at it.
Double plus fireball.
Oh, only some days.
What's with these birds? Shoo, these little cats and everything. He's like flinging his hand at you. He's not doing anything. He's not touching you, but trying to get you off.
I'm gonna climb the side of his head and perch on top of his head.
Oh, it's gonna give me the dumb flu. No. Oh, God. Oh, it's on my head. He's now like basically swatting at you, kind of hitting you a little bit, trying to fling you off. If you want to cling on and hold on, if you could make a little birdie athletics check to cling on.
Oh, I forgot to pull up a stat for this. The only stat I could find was for a raven, I think.
Sure. Yeah, why not? Makes sense. Make an imposed athletics check with the raven.
Athletics, okay.
Athletics or some sort of strength check. You're like trying to hold on to him, right? Maybe even an acrobatics, but bird acrobatics.
I'm gonna go with acrobatics because I believe that is dex, which would get me a +2 rather than a -4 for strength.
Yeah, I thought the strength wouldn't work too well, but go on.
Alright, so 11.
Okay, yeah, he rolls a 15, and he just kind of hits you off of him, and he begins to run out of the alley, and they also run as well, and he's trying to get away.
Did he do any damage by smacking me?
Not really, no. I mean, he was just like, it was like a shove. He was just shoving you away.
Okay.
I mean, you can, if you want, you can fly full speed into the wall and, sue him for damages because there's no security cameras here, so.
Yeah, no, I'll just hop back up and fly over him and consider bombing him, as in dropping a bomb on him.
Yeah, you chase after him, and the little cats are chasing after him too, and he's just running down the street. Why? What have I done to deserve this? And, yeah. Would you like to do anything as he attempts to run away and panic at these strange animals that are following him?
Can I try to herd him back to where everybody else is? Because also, I imagine Fion can see through his familiars?
Fionn, can you see through your familiars?
1 second. It doesn't say in the flock of familiars. I have to check find familiar.
Sure, take your time on that. Mollymort, make an intimidation with advantage because he seems to be afraid of birds.
As long as they're within 1 mile of me. So if it's farther than a mile, no.
Yeah, you can see this guy kind of freaking out a couple blocks away.
Well, good thing that was with advantage because the first roll was nat 1, but 15.
Okay, yeah, and that one is perfectly reasonable for a dove intimidating a grown man. But with a 15, because he is so afraid of birds, or at least this bird, or who knows what, yeah, you're able to strategically be on the certain sides that you want him to not turn towards, and you're able to slowly herd him in a circle back towards kind of where the group was.
Must ask, are the other people sticking with him, or is he just running off on his own?
He's just running off on his own. The others are just like, why is he freaking out? Like, what is this? And he just went, and they're just kind of shaking their head and staring at him like, this is strange.
Awesome.
Yeah, but he runs off. Quite a few people also, too, are just like, why is that man being attacked by birds? And, yeah, he's weird. You can never, some Idor's new trick going wrong, something along those lines, as he just bustles his way through the streets, shrieking bloody murder. And soon enough, you all can hear as the approaching terrified sounds of Idor begin to form in your ears, becoming closer and closer and closer. And soon enough, you can see him being herded by 3 small cats and a lovely bird that is just scaring the crap out of him and just going up and beating wings and doing bird stuff.
Once he's back with the group, I'm going to fly over and land on Fion's shoulder and just coo proudly.
Fion shakes his head and mutters to himself, I really gotta get this spell under control.
It's just a bird arrives as well. He's a bit surprised when the bird lands there. He goes, "You, what do you want?" Your bird's harassing me.
It's not my bird. The cats are mine. I'll fess to that. The bird is not.
I'll turn back into a gnome at this point. Hi.
You! I knew it. You're a witch.
Witch? No, I'm a druid.
Excuse me, sir?
Oh, I guess that explains the bird stuff. I guess that explains the bird stuff.
Yes, I was the bird. You figured me out.
Well, are you done harassing me? Or may I go?
I was fully willing to just hang out with you, and you're the one who started swatting at me. He swatted at me, Fion. And I point to him accusatorily.
She was climbing my head!
I sit on his shoulders all the time.
The possession of shoulders is not permission.
This is fair.
And he looks down at the little cats and he says, "Will they stop following me as well?"
Yeah, sorry about that. And Fion closes his eyes for a second and they walk around behind him.
I watch them.
He sees it and then looks up at Fion and then looks back down at where they are not, and then just shakes his head and blinks a whole bunch. He says, "This town is getting a little big for me."
I mean, to be fair, you've got a pretty climbable head. And quite a punchable face, too.
Well, wait a minute. I'm sorry, what that second
No,
part?
He looks quite taken aback. He says, "You all are
Just having a laugh.
uncivilized."
Well, look, I just wanted to find out where you were staying so we could ask you. I mean, long story short, something big is coming and we might need all the help we can get. And you clearly have some magical power, but I don't know what the extent of it is, so that was my intention.
He draws a hand and it goes whoosh, with a blast of a kind of an orangish, yellowish, not quite fire, but like glittery fire kind of look. And he produces a card, which he offers, and it says Ildor Wildcrest, or Ildor the Great, and then below it, in parentheses, Wildcrest. And then says Illusionist, Magician, Hope. And
Imitate his fireball thing with minor illusion.
he goes, yes. We're all showmen here. Great. And at the bottom it says available for hire, private parties, bars, events, store openings. And he says, if you simply go to the address listed on the back, you can speak to my manager and you can hire me as needed. All you had to do was ask.
You ran off pretty quick.
Because you crashed my show.
Excuse me.
If anything, we helped.
Better.
Yeah.
Fionn leans over to Lee and he says, have I misjudged? I think I misjudged. Big time. Here.
I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what's going on here.
Neither, but he's interesting. I like interesting.
I'm just
You're
going
gonna
along
have
with
to
it.
pay me quite a bit if you want me to perform with you all again. That was very unprofessional.
I'm gonna pull out 1 gold.
Yes, but we were such good help, to be fair, that even you were surprised. Imagine how the audience viewed that.
The audience would have enjoyed what I did no matter what.
And we
I have a practice
improved.
show. You did not improve it. You may think that you improved it. The arrogance of you. You did not improve it.
Hey.
We made it so well that even you were surprised, friend. Come now.
Listen, you guys, let's just... Okay. I feel like I made a bad judgment call.
No.
I do have one more question for you, Ildor. Everything that you showed us, is that all that you know?
I have many tricks.
Basically, what I think we want to know is, are you useful in a fight?
Yes, exactly. Thank you. I couldn't figure out how to spit that out.
I can't do a lot of the cool things that you can do, but I'm pretty good in a fight.
I have several years of stage fighting practice and training, yes. I have done several other shows. I am actually quite an actor. I just also happen to be a gifted sorcerer.
Okay, but can you take a real hit?
Yeah.
What are you asking?
Theon
Can
pulls
you
out his
fight?
sword and he says, if swords, shields, hammers, real weapons, real fighting on the battlefield.
Are you talking some sort of a
Well-
wrestling match?
Let's be fair, though. It doesn't necessarily have to be fighting that he can join in on. If he can distract, that's even just as good, if anything.
Yeah, I don't want him to get killed by being a distraction.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're having some kind of barbaric gladiator competition or something, then if you need a performer partway through to distract the audience from all of the bloodshed, then I will perform if you pay, and I have your word that you will not interfere with my performance. Then I will, of course, perform.
It
Have your
doesn't
people
necessarily
call my
have to be
people.
at the front line.
He begins to walk away.
I follow him.
You what?
I'm gonna follow him at least. I don't know about everybody else.
So you jump off of Fion's shoulders and just start following him?
Yeah, I was about to say, if she's on Fion's shoulders, he's just gonna grab her as she goes to jump down.
Oh, why?
Real quick, guys, do we want to try and get the pen? That'll be quite handy if we ever split up, or maybe even getting in contact with Aladrin.
I'm gonna holler to him. Hey, Edor!
What?
What about that pen thing you had?
What about it?
Is it magic?
Everything about me is magic, and he, in the most, in the most bothered way possible, in the most annoyed, like, I'm so tired. He just snaps his fingers, and there's a puff of purple smoke, and a couple of a couple of white sparks.
Okay, but is the magic from the pen from you or from the pen?
The pen. He squints his eyes.
What's it do?
You're a good feeling.
Oh, you mean this? And he reaches into his coat and he pulls out the thing that looks like a magic wand.
Yes, that.
It writes. And he opens it, and it's just a pen that looks like a magic wand.
Yes, but can it send messages, or was that message from you?
It can make messages.
That will telepathically be connected to the person we wish to be connected to.
He rolls his eyes and kind of face palms a little bit and rubs his
Or
temples.
was that you casting another spell?
Are you all that much of amateurs? This is a prop, a novelty.
So
the
he's
magic-
casting sending.
Apparently from a
Got it.
bird is calling us amateurs.
He just gets a bit offended at this, and he says, "Look, I have a completely legitimate fear of certain avian species.
Legitimate.
If you've had so many battles with birds as I have, then you would know. But you haven't. You don't know me.
I mean, we have taken on a dinosaur? So,
A what?
Dinosaur, have you not heard of them?
He's just staring at you and just shakes his head and puts his wand pen away. And he
No,
says,
they look like this, and polymorph.
oh,
Can
I
you-
wanted to do
I'm sorry.
Which dinosaur did you become, Oramus?
The ones that we saw in the winter, or the
Okay,
snow
so
area.
like some of the bird-like ones.
Yeah,
the velociraptors.
Yeah.
just to be a little less scary.
Well, the velociraptors aren't too scary. They're like a big turkey. But yeah, you turn into one. And Mollymort, you might think that actually no, this isn't like one of the ones that you fought. The one that you fought was bigger and big flying thing. If you want to turn into that one and be like, no, it wasn't that. It was this. And turn it into an even bigger dinosaur.
I think at the
Now we're just fucking with them.
at Oramus polymorphing, he's gonna like if Fiona's gonna put a hand on Oramus's now scaly back and be like, "Whoa!"
It's
let's-
actually covered in feathers. But go on.
yeah, his feathery back
Yeah.
and be like, "Whoa!"
Feathers.
Let's look. We made a mistake here. We have his card. Let's move on. Can you please drop the thing that you're doing, Ormus?
I'll roll my eyes and
Now, of course, Ormus said that in Giant because Giant is the language he uses speech of beast and leaf in.
You're saying Mollymort?
I said, I don't think we made a mistake.
He just seeing this even larger bird. He just runs off as fast as he can.
I fucking knew it.
Ormus, get him!
Do you chase?
Theon has his hand around the back of Ormus' neck like a kitten.
Do you intend to chase him, Ormus?
I don't think I even understood her, so I couldn't.
That's fair. Okay, but yeah, he just runs off as quick as he can.
I will change back though, laughing my ass off.
I think he might have understood me because speak of small beast, and that the velociraptor is a small beast.
Yeah, realistically, you could have understood her.
Not too late. You gone.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I don't want the city guards after trying to kill this random velociraptor.
Yeah, we've seen how that goes before.
Yep.
Ormus reverts to his normal humanoid form,
Laughing very loudly.
Yeah, laughing heavily as this poor old showman runs for his life after being tortured and harassed by.
Oh man, that's the best laugh I've had in a while.
That was pretty good.
So what would you all like to do now as you recover from the hideous laughter that you have imposed upon yourselves?
Well, I guess we're not getting help from Edor, and I do sparkle with minor image. The Great.
No, but now we know how to terrorize and scare the shit out of someone.
Specifically, at least.
Let's just go talk to Bahamut like we had planned.
Oh shit, that's right. Yes.
Hey.
All right. So, heading off towards the castle. You go away. It going into mid-afternoon, after your adventures with Theodore the Great. You soon come to the gated and walled section of the inner heart of the City of Hope. And you can see as you come in that Panny is eyeing you all close. He, for whatever reason,
Smile away, boys.
happened to be in the courtyard as you all come in. He was there, seemingly overlooking a shipment of foodstuffs coming through.
I'll wave at him.
And what are you all doing here?
It's above your head.
I am aide to the king. Nothing is above me except for the king, and nothing is above him except the crown.
Set me up, Bahamut.
Yeah, we're here for the crown, so...
Oh,
That's treason.
we're
That's
here-
treason. Did anyone hear this treason? It's like a whole bunch of guards around, and most of them aren't paying attention. They don't care. Whatever he says.
Excuse my lack of skill with words. We are in service of the crown.
Well, you have no appointment with the king today, and I'm not letting you in. And that's the only crown, he says through tight eyes.
Hold on. I'll step forward and be like, we don't want to cause any trouble. I apologize for the rough, coming in.
That would be a first.
I'm sure there's some sort of agreement we can come to. Can I make like a persuasion or something to placate him?
You can attempt, yes.
I don't like how that sounds.
Can I give you guidance?
It won't help. I rolled a natural one. Let's just appropriate since it's Fanny.
1 second. Does... Oh god, I can't remember what that bullet curse does. No, that's specifically intimidation, never mind.
Yeah, this is a persuasion. Natural 1 plus like 3.
Would you like to roleplay it, or should I?
I can roleplay it. I'm pretty bad at talking to people.
Go for it.
Be like, yeah, we just want to, talk to the person in charge, Bahamut. And, I'm sure if you look into your heart, you could let us in.
He starts huffing. As soon as you say that, you can see just a little bit of steam coming from his ears. His eyes going wide, and he puffs up a little bit.
We've just got important business with Bahamut, and, we need to see her. And, it's not disrespect to you. It's,
Those women are not in charge. If you were to go see them, then fine. You're just wasting your time.
hold on. Look, Penny, I know we don't like each other. We're just here to tell him something and leave. That's it.
Way to say women with such scorn.
They deserve scorn.
Look, we're not here to
I
fight. We're not,
remember
like,
a
here to
wonderful
get rid-
day where you all were on gallows.
And I remember a wonderful day where we got a royal friggin' pardon,
Yeah,
Penny. Now all
this
we're here
time.
is to
hmm
talk to Bahamut, tell her where we're going, and then leaving. That's it.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
He just shoos you away, and then resumes checking over the cargo.
Is he next to the cargo?
Yeah, I mean, it's him and a couple of people that are kind of going down a checklist to make sure. Basically, they're seemingly going over a manifest to make sure that they have all the food supplies that are actually there.
God, I would love to slide a hand and Eldritch Blast into it right now.
How
Let's
do
go,
you
guys.
sleight of hand a fucking Eldritch Blast? Explain
know,
that to me.
Walking away, hide it underneath your arm, and just lift your arm slightly. Boop, gone.
Okay, whatever. This is not worth arguing about.
No,
Anyway.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Don't worry.
So, do you all go towards the castle where, Bahamut and the Queen are? Presumably.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. When you get there, you can see that even in the short amount of time that you all have been gone from here, that there have been more improvements made, and that there's seemingly the fountain last time was getting to a point of bubbling, and that is good. But when you come in this time, you're surprised at the activity. There are people here, not like in the king's side, where it's more guests and dignitaries and groupies. Here, desks have been installed. There are people working in this tower. And that's strange, different, unusual. But yeah, there are people working here.
Molly is going to hop down from Fionn once again and just like run between the different desks to look at what they might be doing and to just peek at things.
Many of them seem to be drawing things. There are sketches of towers and drawings of different buildings. There are drawings. It seems like some people are actually making maps of the surrounding area. And there is one desk, or more of a low bench. But anyway, there is one plinth that upon it has been built a model of the walls and towers of the city, or at least as they quite possibly may be one day. As apparently this is some sort of a planning area for the future fortresses of Hope. And they seem to be getting to work on it pretty darn fast. And everyone, they kind of see you going through. They don't really say much of anything. There are some smiles at you all, but they seem to be just working hard, But
Molly,
go on.
Molly's going to linger at the one making maps, and she's gonna quietly pull out her own map and just kind of lay it out on their desk and kind of half whisper to them, if you could make me a copy or lend me that, I would love you forever.
He looks at your map, which includes many things all over the world, not just the area around Hope. And he says, I'll give you one if you let me copy that.
Absolutely. Deal. Thank you.
He immediately hands you there's a barrel of scrolls beside him, and he pulls one out. There you go. And then he says, can you give me a couple hours with this?
Okay, I'll try to be back by the end of the day, okay?
He nods.
Okay, thank you. I pocket the map he gave me.
Okay. It is a map that shows a lot of the details of Hope. It shows the waterways. It shows essentially not so much the streets, but it shows the sort of shape and area. It also shows resources around. It shows gas mines where you got all the gems. It shows, quite a bit. There's elements of farmland. There's a lot of the different taverns and things. It's a substantial amount of information that could be useful.
I with so much glee just showed off to everybody else.
Yeah, it's a map.
It's very nice.
Mm-hmm. All right. Would you all like to go upstairs and try to find Mika?
I will run back to the person and say, hey, could I get your name in case I don't know where to find you when I come back?
He says, yes, it's Frank.
Frank. Got it. Thank you. I'll be back. Bye.
Does he have a last name?
Moon.
Okay.
What?
Just because there could be a lot of Franks in town. That's why I got it.
That's his name, Frank Moon.
Yeah.
I mean, Molly wouldn't have thought to ask for the last name because Frank sounds like such an odd name to her. She can't imagine there'll be many Franks around.
Not to mention Franks that are making maps.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's a big city.
Anyway. So, heading upstairs, you of course have the two chambers, as always. One that usually houses the queen, one that usually houses Bahamut. Frequently, they're in one or the other's rooms. Which of these doors do you want to knock on?
Bahamas, Mika's.
Okay. Giving it a knock, knock, knock. It is soon answered by Mika. She happens to be home today, so she sees you all. Oh, hello.
Hi.
So, looking at all of you, why did you knock on my door? She says after several moments of silence.
We wanted to let you know our next plan of action, and also apologize for. Side note: last session, did we talk to Bahamut after the 3-week time skip?
Not exactly. Sort of. I don't remember actually.
No, I don't think we did.
Yeah.
Because we went to go celebrate drinks, went to go find Theon. This was after the revival of Rail. And then we went to go celebrate drinks as soon as we got back.
Well, no, the celebration of drinks. That was. Was that?
That was after.
Was that? But was that from Real or was that from something else?
The Theon's thing. But we didn't get to celebrate it yet because we went to go find him. Because it's kind of like a whole group thing for him. So.
Well, no, I mean you all did give an indication that you wanted to take the net because if you recall, Mika told you got to be really careful because don't underestimate it.
What I think happened was we revived Real. We were going to go celebrate with some drinks. Somebody went to find Theon. The things happened with Theon. So then we found it was a couple weeks later. Then we actually went and had the drinks. Then we were going to go talk to Bahamut, I think, when I found, or when Edor's person started calling and I dragged everybody along for the magic show.
That's how I remembered it.
I remember it a little bit differently. I really should have taken better notes. I apologize. So if I recall correctly, you all went off to get drinks after getting the boat back and to celebrate a little bit of Real, even though Real wasn't really involved. You're just celebrating everyone being together. Because if you recall, before that, Lee wasn't with you, Jacob wasn't with you, Mark wasn't with you. But you were all together. You were able to, you had brought Real back. You went ahead to get drunk, which was a big portion of it. And in that time, some of you went off to wander in the woods. One of you apparently falling into a somewhat strange kind of open nature portal to another realm of a fairy goddess, which through some sort of entrapment, you all were brought into it. But soon enough, you came back, and then you decided that you were going to. You came back. It was evening time. You were going to get proper drunk this time, and you went out and you had some drinks, and then you found out that actually no, because you went to Irini's house after the drinks, after walking home. Yeah, after giving a walk home for Gary, you found out that you had been gone for weeks, and then you decided to go to the cabin where you rested up. Then you spent a portion of the morning just doing some various things. There were some discussions between Ormus and Lee. There was some bathing in a lake. Then you all did go off to speak with Bahamut. Right at some point, you spoke about apologizing for being gone. You spoke with the Queen. You said that you're going after the net. She responded that you should not underestimate the bearer of the net, that it's extremely powerful. And then then you all basically were managing some you were taking care of some errands, and then you decided, okay, we're not going to wait any longer, we're going to go after the net. And so I think you came here, you're on your way here to say, okay, we're actually going now. We're not just going to say, okay, we're going to maybe go, we're actually going to go now. Or does anyone recall that being different in terms of where you were going? Because I forget. I thought you were going to see Mika.
I mean, I remember we got the baked goods and we were going to meet up somewhere.
Oh, yes, the baked goods. Yes, you had the baked goods.
What did we have
I
baked
said I was
goods
out to
for?
get sweets, which I found.
Well, one of you went
I had a
off.
sweet tooth.
Yeah, you had a bit of a sweet tooth, and then one of you went off and found a candy shop, and another one went off and found a cupcake shop. But you were able to meet up again at quite a bit, and you met up at the cabin, and then you were heading back into town.
Oh, no, we were heading back to... Me, Mark, and Jake were heading back to meet up with Molly, Fiona, and Lee, and then that's when they got distracted by the by Igor.
Fair enough, but I thought you were there. Mark was there. Jacob was there. You all had cupcakes and things.
We went to the show, but we were just heading back to the cabin because we didn't make a meetup spot.
That's so right. You're heading back to the cabin, and then you. Okay. I apologize. I completely forgot that.
Yeah, remember I stopped the woman who was calling for the show and asked her to help me find Ormus by scrying on him?
Correct. And you scryed on Ormus and then learned more information, but you're able to find Ormus, get to Ormus, come back. So you all have a bunch of sweets, and you basically are all set. Is there anything else you all want to accomplish then before going off and going to get the net? Everyone has been told what they need to be told, presumably.
I think this was just to confirm, like, yep, we're heading out now.
Yeah, I mean that sounds good to me. Yeah, just confirming that we are currently heading out.
While we're at it, I would like to, since I did make note that even though it's highly endorsed by the king, I would like to give the queen some of these donuts from that shop, or cupcakes, and ask about all the work that's going on. It's interesting.
All right. If you go over to the Queen's quarters after getting a hearty good luck from Mika, after a couple of knocks, there's a bit of a shout from inside. Come in!
I bring cupcakes, I say as I step in.
And she says, that sounds lovely. Oh, you all are here. Great. Take a look at this. And she is basically there are some plans akin to what is going on downstairs, except this is for a location that you don't recognize. And she says that we've had a lot of issues with the dwarves on the eastern coast, quite a ways away, but they had a bit of a foothold there, and it took a lot to get them out of it. We were thinking we could use it against them as maybe a secondary post or a fortress. Any thoughts? And you can look at it where it seems to be two sheets. One is like a current status of it, which looks to be a incomplete and seemingly damaged large dwarven fortress, and then some additional things, which they basically, it's the sort of thing where it's clearly not the intention of what the dwarves had, but it's just kind of filling all the holes. A lot of it is just sort of patchwork, at least as it seems to be marked.
How well is it fortified, and how strong are the structures?
Well, they took quite a bit of damage, she says with a bit of a smile. So it should be able to defend fairly decently against Tiamat, at least for a small bit. But it is fairly heavily damaged.
Because I was thinking, rather than like repairing it or anything, kind of booby trap it. Explosives, whatever, collapse on a big group of dwarves who think that they're victorious, and then, they have a huge fortress that's falling down on their face.
Yes, but what if we need it to hide in? Because, I don't know if you've noticed, and she kind of points around, Hope is not going to stand up too well against Tiamat.
No.
But it's strong enough that we could potentially put some of the people in there for some time. Plus, it's quite a ways away, several days of travel. It's well outside of what we usually manage. It's not likely that... Oh, go on.
Do we know this place?
No, you don't know this place.
Okay.
Well, if it can
but it is
be,
marked on your map.
if it can be used as a safety net, then I think we should use it for that rather than any,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
suggestion. In case we're seeing the worst.
Yeah, she just says that this is just, it's just something that we might use as a fallback if we have to. But in Mollymort, you can actually you looked at the map a little bit. It is on your map. It's marked as a place called Ackles Hold, AKAL''S. So Ackles Hold, and it's marked on this map as well. This sort of drawing, but it's quite a ways to the east, several days, like at the edge of the map, way far up. But yeah, she says that this is basically the only structure we have that might be able to survive even more than a couple of seconds against Tiamat, not including the bunker below. But we can't fit the city within the bunker.
Ooh, bunker below?
Yes, I believe you are storing the heart of our friend there. If you recall, there are tunnels underneath these towers that go to a bunker built underneath the courtyard. They connect the two towers.
I thought she was saying bunker at the Eccles Hold.
No, a bunker like here. Like the only structure in Hope that could stand up to Tiamat for even a short amount of time would be the bunker. These towers are strong, but not that strong, and everything else is like made of kindling.
Yeah, I had the same confusion as Ormus.
I apologize, but she says no, that the city of Hope would be quickly destroyed if it comes to that. So,
with any luck, it won't. But planning ahead, I think agree.
So yes, if it comes to that, we'll do what we can to send as many of the people as we can here. Try and make it somewhat safer. Because the city is nothing without the people.
Of course, I appreciate that. So what kind of defenses are you going to have? I saw that you're working on plans for a wall. By the way, I took one of the maps from Frank down there. Well, I offered it to him, or asked for it, and I exchanged it for a map of the world that I've been working on.
She nods, says, "That's fine. That's good. We appreciate any intelligence that you can offer from the outside world. As you can expect, we've been somewhat out of the loop for a while. We've learned a little bit, and we've gotten quite a bit more being able to come back from Edwin, but it's still quite limited. And the more we know, the better off we're going to be, hopefully."
Well, there's a lot of my odd notes in that maps that, like, only I will be able to understand, but for the most part, there's a lot of good information in there, I think.
Well, I'm sure Frank will find that entirely frustrating.
Yeah.
And she gives a smile. And she says, "So, was there something that you all needed? Oh, besides, if I may," and she points at the cupcakes.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, have one.
She takes one. She says, "Thank you. It's been far too long." And then she basically, like, kind of looks away, almost embarrassed as she quickly, wolfs down this cupcake. And she's just, like, licking her fingers off, like, "Oh, it's so good."
Do you want
We
to?
also got some of these. Sorry, Molly.
As you present the candied flowers, she goes, "Oh, I love these." And she takes one of those as well. And she says, "All right, no more. I can't have any more for the rest of the year." Oh,
Do you want us to send somebody up with real food? You seem hungry.
she shakes her head and she says, "No, I'm quite well fed, just spoiled.
Okay.
You take the good things when you can." She shrugs.
Just the small things in life. Yep.
She nods. "It is the small things." And then she gives Molly Moore's hair a little pat.
Figurines widely. Was that it then? We did kind of want to ask about all the stuff going on downstairs. You're making a lot of progress with stuff, huh? And also, last time we were in the Iron Gentleman, we heard that there was some division going on.
Amongst the guards?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been hearing whispers of that as well. The morale's suffering quite a bit between those that are loyal to the kingdom and those that think that being loyal to me is against the kingdom.
All right. Well, hopefully you sort that all out.
Any ideas?
I don't know. I don't deal with politics. Well, I guess I kind of did a little bit back home. But I don't know anything about this place's politics.
As a god, you're kind of sworn to the crown. If you ever, gain that title, then they may need to be reminded, not meanfully, that, their oaths are to the crown, not the individual.
Yes, but as you may have noticed, I don't
Not yet.
have the crown.
Not yet, yes.
Yeah, Panini made that very clear.
Yes, he would. An insufferable man.
Yeah.
It was just a future suggestion in case you do acquire it. Hopefully soon, someday.
Couldn't you make a crown? I mean, from what I thought, queens got crowns too.
The crown itself is not the point. The point has to do with just the way that the city works, the way that it always works. This is a relatively new thing. I mean, Kia's only the king because his father was, and they just didn't care enough to make someone else king when he died, and he didn't have the chance to make anyone else king before he could. They don't have any loyalty necessarily to the individual, but this is just the way that they think it should work, because it's just been the way that he said that it should work.
Well, there's never anything wrong with change.
Exactly. We were
Sometimes
never
change is needed.
the city. We never even had. I mean, I guess we kind of had a king, but it was never like this before. Different. I mean, when I was growing up, it was just always stories about we're all working together and we're all in this together, and how it was so important to help each other. And
Well, maybe they just need a simple reminder of that. Because I'm sure that they grew up hearing the same stories, being hopeful, and possibly that's why they even joined the God.
yeah, but the way that they think, and she kind of points to the guy that's with her, and he says, and she says, and I don't mean this as any respect, but or disrespect, but it's a little different on that side of the wall. That these guards, many of them are here just because it's something to do. Very few are doing it because it's important to them that they serve the city, and even then, we don't
That's being
have any written laws. We just do whatever my husband thinks is right on a day. We're very loose in that respect, and it frightens me personally.
Wasn't there hearing of you being the rightful crown holder, I guess it would be, anyway? Like, wasn't that in the will?
I would argue that. I would argue that, yes, I think Atlas did want me to take over the city when he died. But,
Nothing in writing, huh?
and even then, even if it were in writing, especially if I were to present it now, no one would believe it.
I have a thought. King Kia, he is your husband, right? So, like, you guys had to have at least used to get along. So why don't you give, you know, some kind of gift as a show of goodwill and try to, you know, reconcile?
Because he's a spoiled
Yeah.
little brat.
She looks a little sad and she says, unfortunately, it was never really that kind of marriage.
Oh,
CC and Atlas, they took me in, and they were as much parents to me as anyone. And I loved them so much. And I wanted to join the family. And they wanted me to join the family, and they needed a wife for Kia, and they thought that there was no one better than me. And I thought it too. But obviously it didn't work out that way.
well, that's a shame. Sorry, I thought maybe it could help if you, like, you know, did some kind of show of goodwill.
I think I've done quite a bit. I mean, he's got to meet me halfway at least. I'm doing everything that I can. I'm doing everything I can for the people. He just doesn't see that.
Do the people?
I hope they do.
Maybe appeal to his vanity.
You can win the people over, definitely. I mean, overpower him, sure.
There's no way I'm going to be able to win the people over him. I want them to build a better world. But nobody wants to work hard for it if he's just giving out food and giving out shelter and giving out this, giving out that, and giving away everything when we need work. We need hard work. And we need to trade with the rest of the world, or else we are going to die here. But they don't care. They don't understand. They just think about themselves.
Well, I mean, the rest of the world has to work hard. Maybe let them. Well, I don't know how well you'd be received by the rest of the world, but maybe show them how the rest of the world works.
No, but the fear of a god can do many things.
She says, if you have any suggestions, I'm more than happy to listen to them. Besides giving everyone a field trip around the world, which we wouldn't be able to do anyway.
Well, we know some people in higher up places. Like, I mean, in Bakata, or was it Bakata? Yeah, Bakata. We killed the Mr. Former Mayor, Finelli.
Yep. He has a weird name. Yeah. Finelli.
Established a new government there, so
Finelli.
we know the people. Rutabaga is a really cool gnome that's there. And there's other people too.
Other people that have overthrown governments?
No, other people that are now, part of the government there.
And honestly, they couldn't be happier.
And she says, yes, but how does that help me? I already tried to overthrow the government, if you remember.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, you can connect with them and talk with them, and I mean,
I do connect with them. I do talk with them. I have no doubt that they, many of them at least, care for me, and I care for all of them. But I offer them a hard day's work, and my husband offers them cake. How can I win over that?
Kind of hard to, honestly.
yeah. By the way, those cupcakes were from a place that was endorsed by Kia.
She nods and she says, yes, I know. Everything good is endorsed by him. And she says, well, this has been an interesting conversation.
Hopefully, once we get back with the net, we'll either have ideas or...
Does she also work in the government?
No, another person. The net that Bahama, well, one of the weapons that Bahama asked us to get to help fight Tiamat.
She nods and she says, that sounds very important. And she makes a motion at the contractor, like, leave the room. And he nods and picks up the drawing and walks out.
Sorry about that. Excuse me.
She says, so, these weapons, you have a few of them, right?
Yeah, we got most of them. We only need the net now.
That bow's one of them, and I'll point to Theon. Or is it strung on you, or do you hide it away?
It used to be strung on me, but now I keep it like on my back, under my pack.
Oh, gotcha.
Like easy to get to, but out of sight.
Yep.
I pull the club out of my hat.
She holds out a hand to take Smash Mouth if you'll give it.
Be very careful with this.
Don't go hitting any tables.
Yeah, no, you could send things. Well, I mean, there's nothing too big in here, but I guess, I mean, don't go smashing walls with it, okay? And I reluctantly hand it over.
She takes it and she looks at it and she kind of holds it and she says it seems like just a stick.
Looks can be deceiving.
And she whaps it against her hand a couple times. And she just shakes her head and she says, how does it work? How do you make it work? How do you make it do something?
You hit things with it. The bigger
The
the
bigger-
thing, the harder it hits.
She looks at the table beside her, and she
I think
raises
more
it up
her.
a little bit, and she says, "You just hit something with it."
We don't have to tune to it, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's get.
be careful.
She gives it a whack, and the corner of the table just splinters off, and she just like jaw dropped, eyes wide, goes, "Wow, I did not expect that."
Yeah, looks hard to see.
I
She quickly
Tried to
hands
tell
it back to you.
not to hit tables, but they never listen.
Well, I had to find out for myself.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
understandable.
tease.
And Fionn holds out the bow for her to inspect if she wishes.
And she says, "And what does this do?"
Well,
And
Well,
Go
don't
on.
aim it at us.
yeah, she's just holding it, and it's a bow that, because I don't know if you guys have ever seen an unstrung bow. It just looks like a stick, or rather, it unfolds in a way. This is
Yeah.
not a recurve bow. This is like almost like a long bow, kind of in a sense, well, more like a short bow. But it seemingly, if it did not have a string, would just unfold. This, assuming you have not added a string, it looks like a bent bow, but with no string.
and yeah, I say, well, it doesn't have a. You see how it doesn't have a string, right? Pull it back. But be careful. Don't aim it at anyone.
How good is
Pull-
your shot?
Pull
The
what
lever.
back, and she just holds it in one hand and just moves her hand through the space where a string would be. But then she feels a hold, and she's a bit surprised as her hand stops, and she goes, "But it doesn't have a string."
Yeah, I don't.
Exactly.
Bahamut told us about it. I don't understand how it works either. I just know that we have to use it.
Magic.
She slowly moves her hand forward again, as if to ease the tension off of an invisible string. And then she points it in a relatively safe direction, pulls back again, doesn't get it back very far, and then she slowly eases it forward again. She says, that is a workout. And you put arrows on this, or
Oh no!
what is it? And she pulls back, as you say, "Oh no." She releases the spring a little bit, and it blows up a pillow on her bed. Ah! And then she hands it back, and she says, "Okay, no more. Don't let me touch anymore."
What else we got?
That's all of them. Aldrin has the spear.
Oh, that's right.
What do you think our chances are? You've seen Tiamat. You've been against her. You've handled these. What do you think our chances are?
Well, I think the net is a huge factor because the net supposedly can catch anything and it'll keep it to the ground. So if Tiamat can't fly away, then I can keep hitting her with this, and I hold up Smash now, and he'll hit her real hard, and he can keep shooting her with that. Point to Fionn's bow, and Aladrin can keep stabbing, punching her.
She nods and she says, "So it actually could work. We just need to get her
Get really
close
lucky.
enough." Where do you intend to have the confrontation?
Don't know.
Hopefully not here. Hopefully far
She-
enough away.
You can see her shoulders sag just a little bit, and she says, "Could you maybe think about it a bit? We need
Personally,
to
I'd prefer
be
to.
worried about it. We can make every advantage that we can. But of course, I would rather you did it before she got to the city."
That's what I hope is. Where is the closest port that we think that Morningstar might be pulling up to take the march over here?
I do not have my map on me right now.
No, but you have a map.
You do have a map of hope.
I have this map though, and I look at it.
So, looking at this particular map, you can see essentially nothing really. I mean, a lot of this stuff, you kind of know a lot of the basics of it. You know that the primary port coming in from the ocean, where they're probably going to go if they take advantage of it, is Westport, which is the town at the end of the river that you all have gone up and down now twice. And
Well, then they look
if they go to a port, yeah, if they go to a port, that's if. They could very well come ashore before that, and because I mean they're invading. They might not go to the port. They might go on land, and they might just march in, or maybe the army will go to the port and she'll just fly over. You don't really know.
Yeah, I imagine they'll go to the port and Tiamat will take to the skies.
My assumption is that they wouldn't even go to the port. Tiamat would take the skies, and the dwarves invade.
She nods and says, "Well,
There are a lot of different variables. We're hopeful and hoping that we can be lucky.
of course, and we're very grateful. And if there is anything that we can do, just let me know."
Will do.
All right. So, are you gonna go out in the hall and teleport, or you want to go someplace else, or anything else to do?
I mean, I think that's all we needed to do. So yeah, let's go try to get that net.
How do you guys
Okay.
feel about testing these out? Guys,
Testing what out?
the weapons, my bad. So we never really had a full good test of them yet. I smacked a dead kraken with it, that's about it.
As of now, time is of the essence.
Yes. But like afterwards, once we get the net.
I mean, if we have the time, because like said, we do also have to give effort. Preferably get encounter Tiamat and Morningstar before they.
Yes. Just a personal feeling of mine. That's all. That's hoping that we might be able to get a little bit strength and get a little bit more familiar with what we're using here before it actually happens.
Yeah, but that feels like a thing of not necessarily necessity. Of non. That feels like something non-necessity.
Yeah.
It would be nice if we did get, but
That's if we're lucky.
Plus, you would have to find something or someone to make a test run on, and that's likely to be very unpleasant for them. So you'd have to find someone that you wanted to do a test run on. It gets complicated.
Well, I was gonna see if the queen knew of any wild dragons that have taken up land around, and you know, size comparison might not be as big as Tiamat, but we can
You
get
could ask her if she wants, if you want, if there are any, wild
Yeah.
dragons around.
I would do that afterwards, though. That's why I waited till we were out in the hallway to ask them if they wanted to do any test runs. Because if they said no, I would have just asked it for nothing, just about.
yeah, I say no. We need to wait because this one is. But if we have time, certainly don't.
By a strange coincidence, there's an individual that happens to be walking by, well put together. He seemed to have been in there speaking with Mika. You recognize him. This is Brubane. You know that he is he is a dragon that is a sort of counselor to the king. Although you're not quite sure where he stands politically now. But you just happen to have a dragon that is walking down the hallway, having come from there. And seeing you all, he will, give a nod.
Smile and wave.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Everything well, I expect?
Yeah,
Yes.
we were just having a conversation with the queen. Wow, look at the things you guys are doing now.
He nods and he says, "Yes, there's quite a bit to get done. Definitely quite a bit to get done. Quite important."
How do you...
Hey, you guys wouldn't happen to have any, big ships you aren't using lying around, right? Because a big ship sounds like something that we could use right now. Or something big in general.
But didn't we just say
Um,
we weren't going to test them?
yeah, it's worth an ask maybe, but he says, big things in general, like that float, or
Just big.
Not worried about damage.
Yeah, something that can be.
Can take a hit.
he's kind of thinking a bit. And he says, "Well, there are trees, I guess. We have these castles. We have a tower built on the partially built in the northeast corner and one in the southeast corner.
Anything you need demolished?
Tree.
Demolished. Perhaps you could go talk to Gath. He frequently needs things demolished in the mining."
That sounds good.
We can make a little bit of gold, possibly.
I don't think we really need gold for it.
No, but my pockets are looking a little dry after the treat, so...
Oh, you want me to lend you some money?
Oh no, you're fine. Thank you, though. I appreciate that.
You know, if you wanted funds, I'm sure the king would be happy to pay you.
Sorry.
He would. You're adventurers to the city. You're important individuals, and he is quite good at aiding the people and paying for things, whether it be different tasks or simply sponsoring you. He does that quite a bit.
I feel like we aren't on best terms right now.
Yes, but this is how you get to better terms. Working together.
I mean, I'm not opposed to making amends. I mean, we didn't kill him.
Yes, you did not kill him. He nods.
We might lord that over our heads forever, though, but... I mean, you do make a point.
He is the king.
This is a good first step.
Something to
And that's
consider.
up to you guys. But first, we do need to go and get the net. That is our utmost important task as of now.
He nods.
But we do appreciate the suggestion, though. That is brilliant.
Yeah, thanks, Trubane.
And he says, "Of course, happy to help." And he gives nods. And
I offer a handshake.
he gives you a surprisingly gentle, although somewhat tingly handshake back.
I like it.
Yeah, you just feel like the hair in the back of your neck raise just a little bit. A well-charged handshake.
You're not wearing the armor, are you?
Oh, I might be.
I don't think you are.
Okay. Oh, just talk about awkward.
I mean, it happens. It's already been pretty awkward. You did give him his dead son's claws.
I
So-
do think that I might have made a habit of taking off the armor when I'm going into, here, and putting back on my hide armor.
Yeah, I don't remember you putting it back on after putting the hide armor on. I think it's just been kind of off for at least a little short bit.
I haven't mentioned it, but I think that she would have, changed back into her scale mail. But yeah, I think she's probably made a habit at this point of not wearing the scale mail at the castle.
Yeah, and that's fair because there's always the possibility of running into, it's potentially awkward.
Yeah, also it's dragon armor, and there's a lot of dragons around here, I imagine.
Well, there's at least Dragonborn. As far as you can tell, the only dragon that you have met is Thruvain. But he also has been introduced as the sort of leader of the dragons in the area of Hope. So you don't know if that is in speaking of the Dragonborn or if there are other dragons.
I mean, I also figured with Mika, I wouldn't want to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mika, of course, being very much more the leader of the dragons.
Yeah.
So, that being done as Thruvain walks away from you all, leaving you in the hallway outside of the Queen's rooms. There any other business or question to settle before you attempt to teleport off to some far off, distant, unknown land?
Not that I can think of.
Me either. I think that
Same.
should be it.
Yeah. As long as we got everybody here.
I will want to put on my scale now before we do the teleportation.
All right. Jacob would ask if there's someplace that he can do the teleporting that isn't in the middle of a hallway in the palace.
Yeah, I imagine we would
Courtyard?
probably go back to the cabin for it, so we're like kind of private.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. You head back to the cabin. It's a bit of a long walk. It's not bad. Fairly pleasant. And, everyone's still working as you leave. And heading out.
Give Frank a thumbs up.
You give Frank a thumbs up. Frank seems to be quite busy. The way he is, he's got some sort of a mechanical contraption that allows him to run what looks like a kind of a stylus over your map, but not by marking it at all. But it does mark a completely empty piece of paper, and it's a fascinating device that seems to be allowing him to make an exact copy of your map, line for line, as he traces over everything that you have drawn and written.
Neat.
Mm-hmm. But soon enough, you all are heading back. I'm assuming you're eating candied flowers and cupcakes on the way.
Oh yeah.
Munching along quite a bit. Just really getting into that sugary bouquet. And those cupcakes, they're just so soft and moist in all the right ways. And it's just fantastic. Quite pleasant overall. But soon enough, you find yourself at the cabin, and you don't see Taguro. You never quite can tell what he's going to be up to. And Jacob begins to just sort of draw and kick and clear out areas and draw more as he draws his sort of teleportation circle in the loose soil outside of the front of the cabin there. And there is going to be something that's important for the teleportation if Lee could offer it as there's a focus that he needs to be able to actually articulate where to teleport to.
Yeah, I'll give him the page.
The notebook there.
Yeah, that's right. I gave the page to the captain.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll give him the notebook.
All right. Taking the notebook and using it as a sort of focus, trying to take the book to a place where it can feel more complete towards a page that had been removed towards it, to a piece of its flesh that had been removed. Not to be too weird about it, but
Yeah, a little weird about it.
well, I mean, what do you call it? It's only got so many pages. You're literally ripping out A, its purpose in life, and B, a portion of its body. But he draws the teleportation circle as the book is the focus, and gets it all set and says, "All right, everything ready? We got everything we need."
Everybody here?
You've got Ormus, Mollymort, Lee, Fionn, Jacob, and Mark.
No
So-
Aladrin.
No one else. I don't think there are any other NPCs that they're available to. Zilra is still with Arini. You have no idea where Real is. Lee, do you want to bring your goat?
It's not summoned right now.
Would you like to instantiate it and bring it along? Or do you want to do it on the other side?
I don't really think I need it right now, so I might do it if it seems like I need it later.
Isn't
Okay.
there a limit to how many people can go anyway?
There is.
I
But
think we're at that limit.
you're not, actually. You're under the limit by a good portion.
Oh, no. Oh, I thought it was 6. Sweet.
No, you're fine. You're
8.
fine. 8 plus the caster, depending on if it's using the teleport skill or if it's or the teleport spell or if it's something else. But like Philbin can
Right.
take 8 plus himself. Jacob, you're not quite sure what his limit is, but you haven't
That's-
found it yet, and it'll probably be a really bad day when you do.
Impressive.
Indeed. All right, everyone piling into the circle. Jacob holding the book and whispering to its sweet draconic nothings about
Which I understand.
how about how the book wants to go to a place where it's with everything else and everything is right and whole again, and
I
that
blush.
they're gonna mend it back together and it's gonna be so good. It'll be fine. You just gotta take them all through the universe, through the back hallways of existence to be able to get there. And he's holding the book, and he's closing his eyes, and he's focused. And then you hear, "You mean it's gonna make? Oh, wait, where are we?"
Oh, no.
And right beside you is Philbin in the brightest Hawaiian shirt you have ever seen, and Alondria, and Aladrin, and some girl.
What are we
Hello?
doing here? Aladrin!
Aladrin! I hug him.
Aladrin is surprised, but hugs back. One occasion.
Too bad we don't have an Aladrin here.
Philbin and Alondria.
Hugs all around. Hugs all around.
Jesus Christ, you've gotten tan. Nice.
Yeah, Aladrin is like super tan.
What were you,
Leathery.
locked in a desert?
Yeah, for a little
Oh.
bit.
Who's the guest?
Oh, Mollymort, this is another druid.
NPC.
Aw.
And she waves a hand, and says, "Hi, I'm
Take
I'm a-
that hand and like give it a little bit of a side of like, you're a druid too?
She nods and says, "Yeah, I'm Adira. I'm a druid." And she shakes your hand and says, "You gotta be Mollymort."
I am. What kind of druid are you? What kind of like nature do you do?
Oh, I like the desert, but I tried to do kind of everything, I guess. But I really like the desert.
The desert, huh? I am more of a water person, I guess. And I kind of gesture down to me wearing pretty much entirely blue.
Mm-hmm. And she says, "Well, we'll get along great, I bet."
Yeah, I like your optimism.
She nods and she's, gives hugs and handshakes and kind of waves to everyone. And Philbin is very excited, giving lots of big hugs, giving everyone an individual hug. And if anyone is paying attention, he cries a little bit on the hug with Lee, and it's just a little extra tight.
Molly is absolutely paying attention.
Mm-hmm. Lots of hugs all around. And he says, good to see you all again. I figured we could maybe take in a show, get some dinner.
A show, huh? We don't no, we don't.
Well, we're on vacation, you know. We're just we can only stay for a night, really. And Alondria says, "Yeah, we better only be staying for a night." And he nods. And he says, "Yeah, only for a night. Only for a night."
Well,
You guys want to put this off since Philbin's here?
And he says, "You know, if and he's kind of looking down at the teleport circle, and he's like, if y'all are busy, I can show her around."
Philbin, don't worry. The teleportation circle will be here tomorrow. You're only here tonight.
Yeah, I'm glad you caught us before we left.
I'm amazed that I did. But I mean, it's really no big deal. I can come back more. You know, it's fine. I can just for a little bit. It's fine. And
Very busy man. We need to get this done, but I think we have a little bit of time.
Oh, we haven't all been together in so long. Aladrin, you're back. Philbin and Alondria, I'm so glad you're here.
they're all so happy. I wish Aldrin was actually here. But yeah, everyone's quite excited, and Alondria is kind of looking at the cabin, and she says, "So," and then she looks at the little village, and then she looks at the lake, and she says, "So this is Hope, then?"
No. This is just where we've been staying.
Oh, good. Yeah, he had said that it was a big and good, proper city, and I did not. Good. That's good.
Might even be able to talk to the queen.
Yeah, Alondria, you should totally meet the queen. She's almost as elegant as you.
And Philbin says, "Well, yeah, as mayor of Vakata, I have to speak to the king. So of course, yeah."
No. The queen. Trust me on this.
Queen,
Trust us.
fine.
You can talk to the king if you would like, but anything political or good that you like to talk to the queen.
Yeah, a lot's gone on. So, we almost killed the king. Then, a lot happened, okay? But we're friends with the queen. We're going to try to get back in nice with the king, even though he, doesn't do much good in our eyes, or at least in my eyes, but still, he doesn't seem like a bad person.
He's a bumbling idiot and a child.
He tries to make people happy.
He's a child.
Philbin nods and he says, "Well, as a representative of the city of Bakata, I can't go making enemies, so I guess I'll talk to them both."
That's probably a good
Separately.
idea.
Oh, and be
Yeah.
sure to talk to Mika too.
Oh, yeah, Mika.
Oh yes, of course. And he turns to Alondria and he says, "Don't worry," or rather, motions to Alondria and kind of gives her a pat on the back, like, "Yeah, we're definitely gonna go talk to Bahamut. Don't worry."
Oh, you already know. Oh, phew. Okay.
He nods. He says, I haven't been gone that long." And he says, "Shall we?" And he takes Alondria's arm. Yeah, arm in arm, I should say. They link arms. And begin strolling down the road.
Adorable. So, I'm gonna look at Jacob. What the fuck happened?
The mayor?
I mean, Lee told us this, right? Like, he gave us the
Yeah,
update.
you know that you know that Philbin's the mayor.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I guess Lee probably did tell us.
Yeah, I think so.
But Jacob is holding the book and he says, "That's never quite happened when I tried to teleport before, but okay."
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm like, what the fuck did happen? Like, huh?
I guess he was starting to open a doorway, and the doorway opened up the wrong way.
He shrugs. and hands the book back to Lee. And he says, "No offense, I don't really want to." And Mark's like, "Yeah, we don't want to go back to the king or the queen. It's kind of weird. Unless you guys are going to get cupcakes, I think we'll just stay here."
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Even if it's with Laundry and Philbin and Aladrin?
Well, we weren't just there.
Yeah, but like, we were trying to teleport, go to the net, and now what? Like, do we gotta
Well,
wait
we're-
another day? Do we have to ask Philbin to teleport? Like,
No, Jacob's just like, no. I mean, we can just go right now if you guys want. Circle's
Well,
already.
We said we would wait because Philbin, right? Like, am I?
Said that, but only I said that, so it's up to you guys.
Oh no, I agreed with that. If he's only gonna be here for a day, we should hang out.
Yeah. Like we can spare a night.
Yeah, it's only the fate of the world. No big deal. Take a night off. So, who all is going to walk back into town? Everybody, or
I think I'll just chill at the cabin.
okay? Anyone else just going to chill at the cabin?
I'm going with Philbin and Aladrin and Aladrin.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd want to see them some more, I guess. So,
Yeah, I'll go as well.
All right.
Alden really is back.
I should have waited a few more minutes. Dang it.
Yonder just had you teleport in with Laundry and Philbin and Adira.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Oh.
you all are all together again, and Philbin, knowing that he only has an evening and wanting to make sure that he can write off this time expense in making it work related, he has insisted that he'd take at least a few moments to speak with the king, and also on insistence of the party to speak with the queen, and also to go speak with Mika / Bahamut. And Aladrin, you're welcome to go speak with the individuals as well, or you can hang out with your party and meet up with Philbin after he does diplomatic stuff, or whatever you guys want to do.
I'll
But
go
you're-
with Philbin. I feel like the king and queen should know about the potential end of the world.
Yes, not many people know that.
Yeah. And then, based on their response, I'll decide who I'm backing.
Fair enough. Do you want to explain that to the party? As you teleported back in at the cabin, do you want to explain that to the party as you're walking back towards town? That, oh yeah, by the way, I think I've learned some information about where the stars are going.
Yeah. I'll tell them, long story short, the world is ending and that's what's eating the stars.
We can't, or at least I kind of figured the world was ending. What's eating the stars?
I don't know yet, but it's potentially, no, it's definitely worse than Tiamat. It's definitely worse.
Well, you know that talk I had with and I'm assuming we're talking as we're walking back.
Yeah, it's a walk and talk.
That talk I had with Arata, that it confirms what you're thinking, Eldrin. I didn't know how to tell everyone yet, but if you discovered it on your own, then I feel like this is a good time to let everyone know. Basically, and then he just informs them for the sake of, oh no, actually not everybody was here for that. Basically, there is an unknown element. You know how there's fire, water, etc., etc. That is, I don't know how to put it. It's been a while and I can't quite remember everything from that.
Mm.
But like everything that was said in that, insert here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That there's some sort of a mysterious fifth element that reacts with all of the others.
Is it love?
It's
Maybe.
crystal.
Unless love consumes all, then I don't think so.
Depends on what poet you ask, but yeah.
I watched The Fifth Element far too many times. Sorry.
I have it sitting right beside me. I am currently holding it in my hand.
Nice.
But ironically, well, anyway, but yeah, that Arata was talking about there being some sort of another asset or another facet to the universe, some other stage of matter that is not like the other elements.
You know, in the hindsight, we really should have seen this coming.
I mean, maybe. I have wondered about, what's bigger than Bahamut, because it does seem like something bigger than Bahamut is happening.
Yeah, like in the Nightmare Society, Bahamut's nightmare was some great ultimate evil, and I kind of just assumed that was Tiamat.
Oh, yeah, if you recall specifically from the Nightmare, you were combined with Bahamut. You were flying through essentially the universe past stars at full Star Trek vision with everything kind of going around, and then something was almost like eating the stars, and then it was eating the entire universe, and then soon it was coming to eat you, and that was Bahamut's nightmare.
And it was like a purplish crystal almost, wasn't it?
Yep, something that you also all saw in the basement of Arata.
Wait,
That there was a somewhat hidden door in his library, and within it you saw several different colored large crystals glowing in the ceiling that were projecting beams towards a center prism that was itself projecting a wider column of white light that was surrounding a kind of ball of rock, and it was slowly churning and growing and breaking and shattering and just kind of revolving in and boiling over itself as a ball floating midair. And you actually you threw a paper airplane through the light to create a shadow, blocking out the light. And wherever or in that instant when it was the light was blocked from it, this revolving thing attempted to break out of the light and expanded rapidly, but the light was able to come in fast enough that it kept it from escaping this strange prison.
Just keep feeding my suspicions, Yonder.
And Lee,
Keep feeding them.
you also have another experience of this when you met a god in a plane of a long forgotten fire god. You met another god, or rather, one of your gods, Gond, who, upon the throne of a fire god, assumingly or presumably using the pure flame essence of this deity, he was attempting to forge or smash or possibly even destroy a clump of this purple crystal in much the same way. And he didn't seem happy with what he was doing. Similarly, in the Nightmare Society, well, anyway, I could go on, but yeah, the more you learn about this, the more you're like, this kind of, yeah, we've run into this a lot.
Yeah, all this time I was thinking that I was wrong. I thought the thing in the column of light was like a black color, and that was just like a Tiamat's egg situation.
It looked black because of the tremendous power of the bright white light coming down on this dark stone, where the contrast was so much that you couldn't quite tell. But if you had really held it in the normal light or looked through it and shined through it, you would be able to see it's almost a dark amethyst.
Okay.
But it looked very dark, but it was in actuality a light, a type of kind of purple, akin to basically every other instance that you have seen this strange thing.
So have we not asked Bahamut about? Like, I feel like there's no way we haven't asked Bahamut about that, like, the stars disappearing at the very least. If we have, like, I feel like that's a player mistake. I feel like definitely one of our characters would have.
Maybe, I don't know, because we've also been very preoccupied with the Tiamat situation. We all we thought Tiamat was the end all be all.
Amazingly, it has not come up, and I've had a speech ready for it.
I kind of assumed that, Bahamut didn't know much about it.
Well, if you recall, when Bahamut revealed himself through Mika to the City of Hope, the actual speech that he gave, he referenced the stars going out and that danger is coming and that we need to work together. He did not, in fact, even reference Tiamat. Not really. He was leaving what the danger was a bit open. And you had seen him staring off into the sky frequently. When he came into the room, he would always be staring off into the distance. And in fact, it's that very point in the distance where the stars started to disappear. He seems to have been worried about it for quite a long time.
I figured staring off was just because he was in old bodies.
Nope. Apparently he was looking at something no one else could see. Anyway,
Shoot.
this seems as good a time as any, what with the further information from Algin, to perhaps ask Mika about this.
Yeah, definitely. Especially since we're going to talk to them with,
Mm-hmm. So, heading off, Philbin says that, is it worth... I understand we want to go talk to Bahamut. I want to as well. But I gotta talk to the king. Can I go talk to the king, really? Should I talk to him really quick? Or do you think he's gonna insist I stay? Like, who should we talk to first?
I mean, I don't think he'll insist you stay too long. He's got his entire entourage to fawn over him.
Yeah, it's kind of what I thought. He doesn't seem like he wants people to hang around. If I'm really boring, he'll just kick me out. Is it alright if I go talk to him really quick? You guys don't have to come. It's okay.
I wanna come.
Yeah, I kind of want to come too.
Okay, everyone wants to go then? Alright. So, still arm in arm with Alondria, as you all kind of go in towards the gated section of the city. He heads towards the tower that is the King's Tower, a tower that you have not been in some time. And he presents himself to a guard at the gate there. I'm Mayor Philbin Jimcaster. And they said, yeah, we know who you are, Philbin. But I'm the mayor of the Kata. I'm here to speak to the king as the mayor, as a diplomat. And I'm like, all right, well, you can just go in. He says, no. Present me. I need to be presented.
If they're not announcing him, Lee will take over that, maybe?
Sure.
Lee will announce Philbin. Mayor of Bakata, Philbin Jimcaster, now arriving, and the Lady Alondria. I guess.
They both smile and thank you, and walk into the castle. And he says, that was great. Can you do it again for the king, too?
Yeah, I got you, bro.
They go up to the king's chambers, where Penny is standing out front at attention.
Introducing Mayor of Bakata, Philbin Jimcaster, and the lovely Lady Alondria.
There's a little smile from Alondria as you add lovely, impromptu in a way. And Penny says that we would have preferred that we had been given forewarning. And he's kind of saying that, but looking more towards you all as the group, not so much on them.
Apologies, they have just arrived and wanted to come see the king as soon as possible.
And have you been inspected by the guards?
They inspected us thoroughly. They looked at us and said, "Oh, it's Philbin. Go right in." And I'll bow.
Guards and I don't exactly get along.
I
Wait,
will bow as well to try to sell this.
Aldrin.
Penny says that, well, since the recent security issues, I must insist that you all be searched for weapons.
Looks down and notices that he didn't take off his weapons, and he says, "Oh, my apologies."
And he says, I cannot let you before. If you will recall, pardon or not, you all were amongst an assassination plot against my king.
I will hand Panini my sickle.
Yeah, we can all pile it somewhere. Sorry.
Do you just start unloading weapons on him, or do you put a pile beside the door?
Yeah, I was just gonna start putting a pile by the door.
Okay. But he'll take the sickle, not quite sure what to do with it, but he'll hold it and continue to try and keep posture. You think he's on his tiptoes a little bit, just to make himself seem a little bigger?
We will put a hand over his chest and say, "Not to worry, Penny. You have my oath that the king will be safe in my company."
He nods and says, and your god will keep you to that, paladin.
I'll nod to him.
Would anyone else like to surrender weapons?
Yeah,
I'll go for a table and start putting my stuff on it.
There's not really much in the way of a table, but you can start putting them onto the pile of things beside Lee's. You're kind of like in the middle of a hallway. There's a couple of like really small tables with decorative plates on them and things, but they're mostly for like holding knickknacks and vases. There's not really anything that can support a greatsword.
That's fair. I'll just like put it against the wall, lean it up against the wall.
Okay, and the spear amongst them, and javelins and etc.
I think just because of how important the spear is, I'm gonna try and keep that one on me.
Thank you. I'm going to keep the club in my hat, but I am going to hand over my staff of fire. And after some consideration, I will hand over the wand of wonder.
Okay, he takes this strange thing with all the glowing balls on it and carefully puts it aside. Basically, not having anywhere to put it, he just kind of puts it on the ground. He was expecting you all to go away, but he, of course, motions to Alladrin's spear and the sword on Ormus's side, and Fionn is also a walking armory.
yeah, Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead.
I take off all of my weapons save for the bow, which, it's like I said earlier, it's under my pack, so.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Plus
I
two.
don't look like it's strung, so it's going to be rather inconspicuous.
Exactly. It's like it's a bow with no string. What harm could it do?
Lee will, in response to Penny mentioning the spear, Lee will say, "This is a relic of hope. We just want to make sure that it's kept safe."
And why do you have our relic? What relic is that? I know more about this city than anyone. I don't know anything about a spear.
It's not in your possession because, if we're being entirely honest, I don't think that you could handle the responsibility required to wield it.
Okay, I think there was a misspoken thing there. It is not a relic of hope. It is a relic of Bakata, correct? Bakata.
Yes, Mr. Sylvan. This is one of our relics. I brought it to Joe the King. Well, it is a symbol of my power, and this Alladrin is one of our generals and one of my protectors. He will not go unarmed if he chooses not to. I am a visiting dignitary, and the king will not like that I am waiting.
He is confused of why we're lying about this because he thought they already knew, but he'll just keep quiet.
Fionn, well, if he keeps quiet, if Lee doesn't say anything, Fionn's not going to say anything to him.
He has a very confused and perplexed look on his face. looking from the spear back to Philbin, back to the spear, back to Aldrin, back to Penny.
Molly
Philbin
watches Lee and gives him a look, shakes her head like, "Don't say anything."
Philbin just glares down Penny, gives him the stern eye, and you can see that Philbin is also kind of putting his chin up a little bit. But it's Alondria who is just casually kind of tilting her head, almost smiling, looking at it. Penny nods and says, "Very well," breaking after only a few moments. And he opens the door and he says, hang on, let me get the, I forget the title for the king. He says, opening the door, His Majesty Kia, the King of Hope. I thought it was more than that. Anyway, oh, that's right, he added a whole bunch of titles. Atlas Stonecutter. Well, anyway, but yeah. King Kia Stonecutter, the King of Hope. Son of Atlas, the King Cutter, the first King of Hope.
Hero of hope, I'm sure.
Oddly enough, he didn't put hero, not yet. He did add protector of humanity.
Mm.
But anyway, he gives a short list of titles, and then he motions at Lee to give his introduction of Philbin.
Now introducing Philbin. I'm sorry. Can I start over?
Sure. Did you do this in character?
No, I'm just a little disorganized right now.
That's fine. I understand.
Now introducing the Mayor of Bacata, Philbin Gemcaster, and the lovely Lady Alondria.
Philbin will step forward with Alondria, and coming in, there'll be a slight bow given by Philbin, no bow given by Alondria.
He'll bow. But he'll bow, but he'll be facing towards. He'll be facing halfway between the king and Philbin.
And that's fair.
No, I don't know if that's the right protocol.
And that's perfectly reasonable. There doesn't seem to be a lot of protocol. They seem to just be kind of making it up as they go along. Every time the king is introduced, it's been a little different. It just keeps trying to add stuff and subtract stuff. There's nothing really official about it, which is unfortunately a big part of the city.
Just depends on how much you want to flatter him.
Kind of, or how much he wants to show how important he is compared to someone else. But Penny takes a position beside the door, closing it behind you, the rest of you, and Philbin comes forward and he says, "We've met before. I don't know if you recall. It was some time ago. I've recently become the mayor of Bacata." And the king says, "Do you have any recognition? A letter of introduction? Any proof that you're the mayor?" And Philbin thinks about this a moment and says, "Well, I'm the mayor, so no, I guess."
Any letter of introduction would be written solely by himself, wouldn't it?
Exactly. It's just like, I guess I can sign a piece of paper that says I'm the mayor if that works. Just kind of shrugs a little bit, and the king says, "Well, maybe you should do that."
Yeah, Philbin just pulls out a cell phone and pulls up the petition.org petition to get him instituted as mayor.
130,000 signatures. But no, Philbin just says, "Look, can we drop this? I've got a city. It can work with you. You've got a city. We can work together. Do you really gotta be a dick about it?" And the king goes, I, and Philbin just holds up a hand and he's just like, "Look, door's closed. It's just us here, okay? It's just us. Come on."
Hashtag real talk.
Yeah, basically. And the king just, "What do you have to offer?" Philbin says, "We've got, to my knowledge, the closest deep water port to your city. we've got road access that can get to the White Sea. You can bring goods through us. We can ship goods to you. There are a lot of people in this world that won't want to trade with humans still, but they'll trade with us sometimes. So there's potential for trade. There's potential for conversation. To which the king says, I already have a bit of a trade deal with Terenia. Why should I need Bakata if I have Terenia?
Why not both?
¿Por qué no más dos?
Philbin points over and says, indeed. And we've got a port that's closer. You can get to us by ship a lot faster than you can get to them by land. And you would have to go past us by ship anyway. There's no harm in having us as allies. Plus, our people, as Philbin motions around, our heroes have been doing quite a bit of good for you. Let me put it this way. At this time, do you really want to be making more enemies? The king is a bit off-put by the potential threat that was just slowly floated across.
I will bow and say, with all due respect, King Sir.
The king says that we are in need, of course, and we will appreciate any assistance. Any goods that you can send us, we would be quite thankful for. And when our emergency is done, we can begin to talk about a trade deal.
There's gonna be another emergency after this.
Yeah, that's true.
And Philbin
I
says,
know.
yes, and another one after that, and another one after that. If we do everything based around emergency, then nothing will ever get done.
Theon gives Aladrin a
serious
look and he just
issue.
like no shakes his head.
If I may, if this lends any credence to our argument, being, being allied with only one city in the outside world, well, that means there's no competition. That means there's no incentive for Terenia to trade with you fairly. But if there's competition, there's Bakata and Terenia, then you have the potential to get the best deal because we would have to compete.
Why wouldn't they give us the best deal anyway?
Because
I'm the king.
people are assholes.
Capitalism.
Let's put it this way: would you give them the best deal?
Well, no, but I'm a king, and they're nerds.
That's kind of fair.
I mean, yeah, but no offense, sir. If they're nerds, and there's a lot of them, odds are they're smarter than you, and they could probably cheat you in ways that you wouldn't understand.
Smarter than.
I was gonna
Smarter than.
I was gonna ask.
Essentially.
Okay.
Go on, Lee.
I was gonna ask after saying that the intention is to kind of, because so far it's been a lot of intimidation and forcing our way, but I was gonna try to give a persuasion to kind of soften the negotiations.
Sure. What would you like to say?
What I said. that was me trying to soften the negotiation.
Gotcha.
Do you not want me to roll for it?
Not really in this instance.
Okay.
It's just, making your argument, and we'll see what the king thinks.
I figured that, if he knew that, we're not just doing this by force, but it can actually have a positive, sort of thing to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess so far he hasn't really. I don't think he's incompetent, but I don't think he's super business minded, and he's kind of self important. So I don't know if he'll see my side of the argument.
Oh yeah, he seems entirely devoid of experience for trade, and I mean, having grown up in a complete state of a lack of want for anything, that would kind of happen. He doesn't seem to be minded in this way at all.
Yeah,
Well,
so I will appeal to that. Oh, sorry, Lee, were you going to say something?
it's okay. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead, Lee.
I just wanted to say that, like, I said that out loud, so Panny is obviously his advisor. Panny can also hear my argument, and, finally something from us that isn't a threat might, he might see the value in that and maybe later advise the king about it. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm just trying to help.
I understand, and everything being said will be taken under advisement. You were going to say, Molly Mort?
Oh, I was just going to go with the flattery and say, dear king, they in Turinea are not as well off and generous as you, so they may try to take advantage.
Well, they may try. I mean, taking advantage. He's just kind of like looking out the window now, thinking. But he turns back and he says, "So, you've made your argument. I will happily accept any aid you can offer. Would there be anything else?" Philbin shakes his head and he says, "Thank you for your time. It was good seeing you again." And he offers a hand to shake, and the king does not take it. And Philbin nods and returns arm in arm back through the door, waiting for Panny to open it, which Panny does. And then Philbin walks out, presumably taking all of you with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll turn around and bow to the king on the way out and thank him once again for his time.
The king, having been bowed at and thanks, gives a very small nod at you and then looks away and takes a drink from a goblet. It seems like he was hesitant to even acknowledge that it had occurred, but he felt that some acknowledgement in that situation should be given, even though he doesn't want to give any positive acknowledgement.
It's understandable.
Outside of the Ashara, the King's Tower, Philbin says, "Well, that sucked."
I should have thrown the spear at him.
No,
Easy there, Aladrin. I'm assuming everyone got their equipment.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
nothing's missing, right?
Nope, nothing's missing at all. Completely untouched. And the king says, "All right, hopefully this one will be more pleasant. It's not going to be an insult to the king if I go talk to the queen, right?"
I mean, they aren't on very good terms right now, but
Right.
I think the fact that you spoke to him first will appeal to him.
Possibly we could make this make the meeting with the queen something a little less formal. I
Yeah,
think
she's pretty sweet.
it would be less offensive to the king if we had an informal meeting with the queen.
Philbin nods and he says, "That's good. I'm not really big on pomp and all of that." And which is especially clear from the fact that he is in shorts, a Hawaiian shirt, and flip-flops.
That looks like a dignitary.
Oh yes, with a beard going down, and you can tell. It's difficult to see, but you can tell. Underneath the beard, the buttons are undone. And in fact, you can't tell where the beard ends and the chest bush begins. Anyway, but yeah, you make your way over towards the second tower with a lot less in sort of circumstance. And when it opens, in fact, you can see Mollymore, to your notice at least. Frank peeks up and sees you all and seems to be coming over to return your map.
I come towards him as well.
All right. He says, "Thank you very much. I wasn't quite sure what some of it meant, but I've got it all down." And he hands it back. Philbin and the laundry are just walking up the stairs, not pausing.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. I gotta go. Bye.
I'll stop for a second and say, hey, on the way out, if you want, I can translate that. What language does it look like it's written in?
It's written in Molly-Mort.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it's written into it. I can't translate that.
Yeah, but he's got it all written 100% perfectly, and he gave you back the original Molly-Mort. But it's there. It's just it's a bit strange, but it's there.
I'll have to be sure to go over that stuff with him later.
All right. And heading up the stairs, Philbin says, "Is she which?" He's a bit confused. He's like, "Is it?" Because she used to be in the other. Where am I going?
I'll lead the way. A little bit of fallout happened between her and the king, and so now she stays over here with Mika, Bahamut, and they hang out.
So, what happened?
Well, we were put on trial because of suspicions of trying to kill the king, and stuff happened at that trial. We made a big fuss. We made a big fuss about the queen and kind of revealed that it was her that wanted us to kill him. And yeah, everything got put out on the table for everybody to know. And the king is not happy about that. But she has more power now. Well, kind of. She is more open about her power.
Did we actually try to kill the king?
Oh, no. Well, I mean, Ormus kind of got arrested while trying to scout out the place because he was being suspicious. But he killed a couple guards, but Bahamut brought them back to life, which was nice.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Aladrin, guess what?
Yeah.
I brought
What?
somebody back to life.
You
You can
did?
see Philbin is like, you've gotten to the door and you're continuing this, and Philbin's like, as much as I love this story, and I want to hear more about that bringing back to life. Can we?
Yeah, let's go in. I knock on the queen's door.
As we're waiting for the answer, Beyond just quickly injects. Oh, and one other thing to discuss, I'm no longer with. Oh God, why can't I?
You were your former patron.
Yeah. Gilgim. I'm no longer with Gilgim.
Yeah, you were formerly with Gilgim. And Philbin just says, "Wow, a lot
Yeah.
has happened."
Also, the queen's name is Anna. I'm not sure if you knew that.
Yeah, I've met her before. He
Okay.
nods. And you give a knock, and there is another response from the other side of, come in, from the queen again.
I walk in. Us again. We brought a visitor.
Going in, you see this time she's looking over the same map that she was looking at before of Ackles Hold, except this time she is with Mika and with Throughbane.
Oh, good. You're all here.
And they all look as everyone comes in, and everyone continues to come in. You can see that clinging very close to Aladrin, the young druid Adira is just being very mousious and quiet, going to these strange places and meeting these royals and these odd things. But Alondria, when she comes in, takes a bit of a deep bow, which is almost unexpected. Although, to be fair, she is a dragon and she is meeting Bahamut for the first time, so maybe it is expected. But she takes a deep bow before Mika, who says, "No, it's okay. You don't have to do that. I'm nothing like my sister. You don't have to do that." And she says, "But it is because you're nothing like your sister that is why I do it." And she says, "That's very kind of you." And they kind of do a kind of grasping handshake. And the the queen is a bit curious, just watching. Always happy to have you all coming in and having these conversations here, but she's a bit confused. As everyone stands silently, Philbin goes, "Oh, I'm the mayor of Bacata. Hi." Yeah, I'm the mayor now. And she goes, "Oh, congratulations." He nods. He says, "Is there anything I can do?" And she says, "Well, if you have some sort of dragon-killing weapon, no offense," as she says to Thruebane and Mika, and or maybe a giant army, or maybe food for an entire country, or Philbin just shakes his head and he says, "Nope, nothing like that."
I'm a dragon killing weapon. If that's
I was
anything.
gonna say that. I was actually thinking that too.
Yeah, Philbin basically says, "Yep, that's about all I can do is give these guys, and just they'll help out the best they can." And Thruebane, yeah, right in front of the dragon's father. Awkward.
I didn't get that kill.
Yeah, that kill was actually
That was
on me.
Theon, actually. Yeah.
Oh,
And to be fair, he did kill Alondria before Theon killed him. So, but basically, Thruebane offers, "Well, you've brought to us another dragon. Every little bit helps." And the queen's a bit surprised as Thruebane points out Alondria, and Alondria nods and says, "Yes, I am a dragon, but I have my loyalties to Hope. I cannot stay." And there's a little bit of sadness, but Philbin says, "Yep, we are only here for the night. We're just visiting. But more than happy to help out, of course. And yeah, we could maybe spare some soldiers. That they probably won't get here in time, though." And he kind of just looks back at the rest of the group, like, "I don't know how to do official diplomacy stuff."
Well, I mean,
Well-
we're kind of the soldiers that Bacata has sent.
He says,
Well-
"These are the best."
if it's numbers, I guess. The current numbers we have in Bacata are straining it, right, Philbin?
Well, within Bacata, we have approximately 14,000 hands between active and reserves. We could potentially have more.
Mm.
And to which the queen says, "Through our agents in Terenia, it's our understanding that Morningstar is coming with 44,000 strong."
Yeah. I'm still mad about that.
Approximately how many do we think Aladrin could take?
4,000.
I would already take out.
I'm putting my money on 4,000.
Which is still a huge number.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with the 10. 10K.
10,000 easy. 10,000 in a movie.
Hmm.
And the queen adds, too, that the soldiers are, of course, not the main issue. Tiamat is. And even if we can handle Tiamat, then the soldiers will still be a major issue. We need to be able to handle them both. Hopefully, if Tiamat goes, then the soldiers will no longer follow. That is basically our best bet currently.
Tiamat's not that bad.
Well, obviously our first goal is to take out Tiamat, but this is also a defensive battle. If we can take out Tiamat, your defenses can give you enough of an advantage. Not the city, but the Dwarven outpost you were telling us about earlier. That could be a pretty good.
Does Hope have defenses?
It has like half-built walls.
Uh,
My understanding.
Indeed. And Alendrin, you can see that they seem to be looking over a plan for a relatively large sort of dwarven fort named Ackles Hold.
Oh, by the way, Anna, Queen Anna, I did, your, um, checking his name. Frank did copy over my map for you, okay? So you got that on hand.
Well, good. I'm sure that we always appreciate good information. That's very important.
I did do the map by myself, so I'm not sure it's exact accuracy, but I mean, all of it's, straight from the horse's mouth.
I'm sure it's excellent. Beside you, Adira says, "You draw maps as a horse."
Well, not as a horse.
But
Kind of need the thumbs.
Thruvain says to Alondria that if you're only going to be staying a night, I must insist too. Join me and my family for dinner, please. Would you? And all of you, of course, please.
I want to put forth an idea that's cooking in my noggin. Philbin can teleport. We have Mark or Jacob that can also teleport.
Mm-hmm.
Bakata is under a lot of stress because at the moment there are too many mouths to feed. What if once a day Philbin and Mark or Jacob teleport a small number of volunteers here to Hope to aid in the defenses?
Can I suggest a counter argument to that? Not necessarily, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think I might have a way to improve your plan.
Yeah.
What if we sent, a group south to Terenia, where they have a much larger pool of resources for teleportation, and got them to send a large number of people from Bakata to here?
That could help. It would be faster.
I like
to
the
this.
plan.
Philbin says that's a good plan, but any way to get there, we would either have to take the long road down to Morganland, or we would have to, and then take a ship over to Terenia, or we'd have to go through Verbanville, and Morningstar still holds Verbanville.
We could try and free No, I feel like we're distracting ourselves if we try and free Verbanville.
We're already split so much, it would be hard to do that
Yeah.
now.
He says that we might be able to put some resources on it in Bakata. It'll be a difficult sell, but I think we might be able to do it, because if we put it at the point of not simply taking back a relatively pointless piece of dirt at possibly great cost of life, but that we're taking over that port, and then we'll have control of it, then that might be sellable.
Strategic point, faster to Terenia and then sends people to reinforce it. Yeah.
But do we need to go to Terenia if we have magic to communicate?
Well, Terenia has permanent teleportation facilities that were built presumably under the orders or watchful eye of the original Torin the Great, the grandfather of Torin that you know now. And so they have facilities to be able to do it, as opposed to having Jacob do it. Or, basically Philbin could maybe send 7 or 8 people a day. Philbin, or Jacob, you don't know how many he could send, but he certainly couldn't send an army. But that place might be able to send hundreds a day.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to. I really like your suggestion. I'm just trying to think of how we can streamline it.
Yeah. The reason why I was saying just have those two do it is because we don't know how long it'll take or what it'll cost to get back Verbenville.
But I think if we're gonna do this effectively, I think we're gonna have to do what Philbin was
Yeah.
said, and maybe remember that because a few people a day is not going to make a big difference. But if we can take back Verbenville and get to Terinia, we might actually be able to make a pretty big difference.
From where I left Morningstar to where I think Hope is, how long do I think it would take them to get here?
Judging from how long they've been gone, the several weeks, but also how long it took you to get there, and how they're going slower than you all did before, they will likely, they're probably still at least 3 months out.
Okay. So. And you said it's like 28 days a month?
Yes, 28 days in a month. There are 4 weeks of 7 days, and there are 28 days in a month, and there are 13 months in a year.
So, if we, even with just Philbin's 8 people a day, that would get us 672 people total. I'm not saying we shouldn't go and rescue Verbenville and get a faster process. But
Philbin says, "You're right. That is potentially worth doing, at least in the meantime. But I think that taking over Verbenville would still be useful. We can do both.
yeah,
I'll just be taking Jacob with me when we go."
yeah.
That might not be doable because we kind of need Jacob to still run around.
And Philbin says, "I can sometimes spare it then, but
Yeah. If you lose Jacob for 2 or 3 days, then maybe I think we'll be fine.
We still need Jacob to take care of the net situation.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I agree with Lee. The net isn't like we absolutely can't lose Jacob because we need to go get the net and then be able to teleport back, and we have no
So
guarantee other than Jacob.
how about this as a plan of action? We take Jacob, go get the net. He brings us to Verbenville, where we can potentially get started on the freeing process.
Aldrin, wait. We are not going to be the ones freeing them. We've got other stuff to do right now. I mean, we can get in
Do
on
we?
that too. Yes, we have the net.
Yeah, I'm talking about after the net.
All right.
If we have things to do after the net, I'm not aware, but
Philbin just says that, we can take it one day at a time. Till then, we can focus on trying to take Terinia back from trying to take Verbenville back from Morningstar. And when you guys are able to help, or if you need help, then you can bring us in.
yeah.
And Jacob can stay with you. We'll be fine. We'll see what we can do. We should be able to, if it all goes well, we should be able to take Verbenville before they get here.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Nods all around, and Thrurbane says, "So is that a yes for dinner?"
Oh, are you sure your place could hold all of us?
He says, "Yes, that's not a problem. I've got quite a good estate. The king has been very generous."
Okay, why not? We could all use some catching up.
Yeah.
Aladrin, you need to tell us about your adventures and how you met this other druid.
And I will add, Thrurbane also asks if Mika, considering the circumstances, if Bahamut would join them as well, and Bahamut agrees and says that she'll just need to get changed, and so she goes to do that. If you all can leave now, or you can wait for Bahamut to get into a fancy dress.
Should we tell them now about the thing, or is that a later talk?
I think that's a now thing. It's a bring it up now, deal with it later thing, in my opinion.
Okay.
How do you
Who's
want to
gonna
broach
tell 'em?
this topic?
Who's gonna tell them about the end of the world?
Okay,
So-
so guys, we're concerned about the end of the world.
Yeah, Fion will at that begin to explain what Arata explained to him, and what Aldrin has told us that coincides with it.
There's nodding along from the Queen and from Throughbane as they're listening to this, and Bahamut is just standing there with her arms crossed, just listening. And afterwards, and Mika says that I didn't want to bring this up since there's a lot going on, that I wanted to take one crisis at a time, but what they're saying is correct. There's a danger coming, and hopefully it won't be here for a while, but it is coming, and it is going to be much worse than anything my sister can bring to bear. He goes on to say, as everyone just stands there staring at him quietly, my father, our father, he looks at Eladria and Throughbane, he was born deep within the planet, born of a mix of elements and power, and born of something else. So there's something out there in the world, or rather in the plane beyond, that has been at work for a very long time, and it's come here before, and it was beaten before. I don't know all about it. My father told me about it, and told my sister about it as well. In fact, I think that she senses that it's growing closer as well as I do. That might even be the push of what's brought her out of hiding after all these years. But there's something out there that we were born from that is coming. Unfortunately, I don't know much more than that. I only know that it wants to consume all of reality. Although want is not really the right word. It wants in the way that a flow of lava wants. Any comments?
No,
Is this? Are there weapons that we can use to stop it, like there are weapons that we can use to stop Tiamat?
Yeah, because
Or is
otherwise
a
this sounds
brute
like just
strength?
out of our league.
Yeah, is this a brute strength kind of operation?
because it sounds like we're fighting a concept, and that's difficult.
Yeah.
How do you fight hunger?
Bahamut shrugs and says that it was gone before I was born. All I know are the stories that my father told me. I don't know how to fight it, and to tell you the truth, it gives me nightmares.
So, here's another thought, and this might be stupid. It might very well be entirely dumb. feel free to shoot this down, anybody. Maybe it's too strong for even you to handle. And this is something that you need to work with. Need to do the unthinkable and work with Tiamat to beat.
Mika was nodding when you said that it's too strong for him to handle. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's probably true. And then when you bring maybe work with Tiamat, it's immediate head shake. Like, no. She has done too much evil. We cannot give her that opportunity. She'll betray us the first chance she gets.
If she's as selfish as you say, then self-preservation is highest on her list.
Yes, self-preservation is very high on her list. I have no doubt of that, but I also have no doubt that the moment that we succeed, if we work with her, will be the moment before she stabs us all in the back, or most likely in the front.
Well,
She enjoys seeing the pain, Aladrin.
I'm well aware. She breathed on me and I survived, though she might not know that.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
He looks a little impressed.
That's how they sank my ship. Tiamat breathed on me, destroyed the whole ship, and I kind of just swam away.
The queen just says, "Wow, you weren't kidding. It really is a dragon-killing weapon." Philbin nods. Like, yeah, he's pretty impressive.
But if we use Tiamat's own vices against her, use her to our advantage, and she's injured in this fight, then we can deal the final blow to her then and there.
Well, what if we're the ones that are injured?
Exactly.
This is a big
I
gamble.
mean,
Okay,
it's a big gamble, but
I do agree that this is an idea worth pursuing. I think so because, she's pretty tough. But even so, do we think that even with her help, even if we trust her to help us, that we'll be able to take care of this? Is that going to be enough?
two gods are better than one.
Yeah, but you're also asking to trust. Like, conceptually, I like the idea, but we can't. I don't know how realistic it is.
I'm sure it's very unrealistic, but it's also Tiamat or the concept of hunger.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm with Aldrin on this one.
I'm not saying this is a good idea by any means. All I'm saying is that if we can't handle it alone, and Tiamat knows she can't handle it alone, that's why she's working with Morningstar. If we pool our resources, we can maybe beat this thing, the thing that we don't even know about. And then when she's weak, we're weak, but we'll probably, there's more of us than there are of her. It'll be 5-on-1. I'll be at 5 weak against 1 weak, but still.
It'll be a lot more than 5, says Thruvain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and honestly, she'll probably be so focused on Bahamut that she won't even pay attention to us.
And
Yeah.
Mika nods a little bit before realizing that she is in an incredibly frail form compared to her normal bit. And Bahamut says, "Look, if we're going to be working with her, or even if we're going to be fighting her, then it's even that much more important that you guys figure out how to put me back into a body. Because that's going to be probably pretty important for either scenario.
Yeah.
But if we're going to be dealing with her first, then you're not going to be able to make peace with her while I'm like this."
Yeah. It's a food for thought thing, but I wanted to bring it up.
Okay. Yes, Lee?
Somebody had to say it.
Yeah.
Somebody had to say it. And the queen It says, and thank you for that thought, Aldrin. Anything that might help us, we have to consider.
So I have an idea that could possibly be like way worse than everybody else seems to think that Aldrin's idea is. So if this thing is basically the idea of hunger, what if we try to give it something else to eat? Like maybe send it to another plane of existence?
Philbin nods at that one, says, that's a potentially very good idea.
You know what? That's spellcaster stuff. I don't know how that works.
I mean, that's not a spellcasting thing I can do, but it's an idea.
To be fair, I cast spells myself and don't understand how it works half the time. Especially these days.
A little cat appears from behind Fion's shoulder and then goes back inside of him.
Damn it.
Like, just peeks its head out from his shoulder, like, materially through it, and then goes back in.
Yeah, you guys that cast spells without government mandated, utilitarian spells. I just don't understand it. I just say a couple of words and do a thing, and it happens. I don't know what you guys are doing.
I just hit things. I want to go back to just hitting things.
I kind of do what Lee does. I just say words, wiggle my hands, and things happen.
So, I want to make sure I have the plan of action in my head. We're gonna go get the net, right? And then what?
I think that's what we're trying to figure out right now. We got a couple ideas to pursue.
My understanding
Go on.
was that the next plan of action was to try to resurrect Bahamut. Because once
Okay.
they have weapons, I mean, that's
Yeah,
what
well-
we're looking at.
Yeah. Well, go on, sorry. I was just agreeing. Sorry.
I said my piece.
Yeah. Bahamut offers that and says, yes, if you're looking for suggestions, after you get the net, get my body back. Get me in something that's not this,
Sure.
please. With all due respect to Nika, I miss having a body. I didn't feel like I missed it, but it's been about 5,000 years or so, and it would be nice to have wings again.
Yeah. Ideally.
Throughbane, of course, adds that you can always take mine for a spin whenever you like, sir. There's a nod and a smile, a little chuckle. Dragon humor and possession humor. Anyway, go on.
We can do that. We can do some research. And if I get to hit things along the way, that would be fantastic.
Indeed. Speaking of hitting things, I've got some mutton that could really use, or not mutton, I've got some steaks that could really use some tenderizing. Come on, dinner?
Yeah.
Fantastic. That'll be great. I better run ahead and tell my wife. She will be very upset if I show up with guests and don't warn her.
So, I apologize if this is an insensitive question. Are you also married to a dragon?
Yes, I am married to a dragon.
I was just curious as to how like human dragon or non-dragon dragon relationships work. I'm very confused on Philbin and Alondria as a whole, but
There's a couple of blushes, including from the queen. And Throughbane says that, well, those things can happen. Can we talk about this later?
yeah.
Okay, good.
You
Yeah.
don't have time for a biology lesson.
Alondria says, actually, there's some very tasteful oil painting if you want to learn some stuff in the Dragon's Den. I'm surprised you haven't seen them.
Is that what those are? Those are dragon mating rituals?
Very tasteful paintings of dragon mating rituals.
Oh,
Some of them, at least. Just like different instances of dragons doing things. Not in that sort of phrasing, but dragons doing lots of things, including mating rituals.
The Dragon Sutra.
In a sense, Alondria says, I just had thoughts and I painted them. But anyway, she can explain further that dragons were born with a memory, not a complete memory, but we have flashes of memories from our ancestors, and there were things that I didn't understand, and so I painted them, and I have since learned about some of them, and I am ashamed that I painted some of them. But and Philbin's like, I'm not. They're kind of fun to look at. And then there's some more blushing, and the queen says, "Respectfully, can you all get out, please?" And
Yeah, I think it's time for us to go.
there's some bows, and everyone goes. And Mika says, "I need to change." And Thrurbane says, "I need to go warn my wife." Thrurbane runs down the stairs. Mika runs towards her room. Where you guys want to go?
He has to go take a cold shower.
That's fair.
I need to change too. If we're gonna be going to dinner, I got a nice dress yet.
All right.
Beyond
Where-
flaps his cloak and says through, and his shirt changes into a dress shirt.
Nice.
I feel like I should change too.
Aladrin, you need to be bathed in bleach, bro.
Yeah.
You could definitely use. You and your companion are both one with nature. Let us say, you could use. You could use maybe a little wash in the lake. So, in terms of changing, do you want to go to Arenes? Do you want to get a hotel room? Do you want to go back to the cabin? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do here?
Cabin?
Sure, about that.
Cabin. Okay.
I'm gonna offer to take I keep forgetting her name. Aldrin, what's your girlfriend's name?
Oh god,
Adira.
you said it and I forgot.
Adira.
I'm gonna offer to take Adira shopping because she could use a nice new dress after such a long travel.
She says that would be lovely. And you all, or Philbin shouts back, Thrurbane! Sunset, cabin, good? Thumbs up. He runs. And he says, okay. Philbin says, so, shopping? And he rubs his hands together.
Shopping.
Okay. We will return next week with a quick shopping montage. And we can describe how everyone looks in their new equipment, since we didn't do it yet again, with describing how everyone looks.
Couldn't just
And
do it.
then you can have dinner, and then hopefully you can agree to net, and then save the world, and then, whatever. But
I mean, we have a couple of minutes. We're finishing early. We could do it now.
we do... Oh. Okay, well, he might get back. But, yeah, if you want, what kind of a dress do you get, Molly Mort? What are you looking for? And how do you look in it?
I'm gonna stick with standard blue.
Mm-hmm.
This time, give me a minute to think about it.
Anyone else want to go?
He is here back. Okay.
Yeah, it'd just be a good opportunity to if you want to describe your outfit, but also just to re-describe what your character looks like, because it's been so long since we talked about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So does anyone want to kind of go first in describing either the outfit that they get or that they change into, or just how they look?
Uh,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, you go first. Everybody didn't seem like they wanted to go, so I was gonna go first just to break the ice. But if you're willing to go, please do go ahead.
So, beyond I can never remember his exact height. 7'10". Beyond 7'10", Fearbolg hasn't really shaved in a while, so he's got kind of the grunge beard and hair going on. His skin is now a bluer shade, but it's still kind of like the gray tone, A lot of minor scars, but the one prominent scar starting above his right eye and ending at his left jaw. And currently wearing the blue duster and bowler hat, and just spoke the command word to change his glamour-studded armor into what appears to be kind of like fancy dress clothes.
Mm-hmm. Is it the same sort of shade of blue with everything as your skin, or is it more vibrant, more dull, or?
Oh, it's the same shade with kind of a not necessarily a gold trim, but like a yellowish trim.
Mm-hmm. Buttons?
The buttons are kind of like an onyx color with the gold thread.
Nice, very nice. Any other flair or any interesting details you would want to add?
It probably would seem out of place. So Fionn doesn't wear shoes because he's a Firbolg, and now he has that Fey nature connection as well. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, with all of this finery, he just doesn't have any shoes on.
Okay, and like head hair. I mean, you touched on the beard. What's going on up top?
He has the kind of gray and black salt and pepper going on.
Okay, lengthwise, sort of direction, any particular part he goes for? Or is he just let it go wild?
Right now, it's just kind of a mane.
Reasonable. Any piercings?
I don't think so. No, actually, no.
Okay. Visible tattoos.
How can
Not visible, but he has the Cloud of Daggers tattoo on his right upper arm below his shoulder.
Mm-hmm. And eye color?
Eye color is a vibrant green. Not necessarily like neon or anything, but it stands out against his skin, I would imagine.
Gotcha. All right. Any other additional information you'd like to add?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
He carries his whips at his hips, but everything else he kind of keeps, back in or under his pack.
Got
for
it.
the for the purpose of stealth and
Kind of hidden a bit or held down, strapped down under a
Yeah.
pack. None of clattering around. Who wants to go next? Sure. What's Mollymore going towards? What is she usually in, and what is she changing into?
Well, she's usually in pretty functional clothing, like plain. I think she probably used to go with white, but now that she's getting dirty a lot, she'll probably go with a black shirt and like pants and boots. Except sometimes she does take them off to, be with nature as Fionn does occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Tan skin, brown hair, although it used to be like a bob length, but it's probably gotten long enough that she started tying it up. She always has her hat on, the hat of holding, which,
Mm-hmm.
as odd as that is with her look.
And the hat of holding is almost like a Santa hat, basically.
Yeah, like a nightcap kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's 3'7", and since she's going to be looking for new clothes, I think this time she's going to attempt to find a shirt and skirt combo because the dress was a bit hard to manage.
Yeah.
Just like a loose white shirt, some bows or ruffles, and a straight skirt, possibly pleated.
All right. Any
Blue-
particular?
Keep,
I was about to
keep
say
her
colors.
on. Blue skirt, but she'll keep her usual boots because they're functional, and she will try, but probably fail to find a nice white shirt that she can kind of hide her hide armor under.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, tan skin, dark brown hair, which it used to be, more vibrantly colored, but she rolled around in mud a lot as a kid, so she kind of ended up dyeing it. Um, very bright blue eyes. And of course, all her gear.
All right.
Occasionally, her cloak, depending on the situation. Her cloak of Elvenkind.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the boots are probably the boots of Elvenkind too. So those are what she's going to be wearing.
And then she also has a scythe, right?
Sickle.
A sickle, excuse me. Yeah, a sickle. And then also a staff of fire.
And the Wand of Wonder, which she
And a wand of wonder.
keeps stuffed away.
Mm-hmm.
And her, traveler backpack.
All right. Anything else? Any body art? Any other trinkets and things that she has? She sometimes will have, has Ormus's mother's necklace, but probably not visible. Or what about her own necklace? If you want to describe that.
Yeah, she has the necklace from Ormus on. She keeps that a little more visible than the tooth that she keeps as her holy symbol kind of thing.
The
And
tooth. Sorry, go on.
she also does have the platinum ring from Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Almost forgot that.
And the tooth being on essentially like a leather chain, and it being a large curved and engraved and inscribed dinosaur tooth.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to add? I think and the ring of jumping. You got that on there.
Oh, yeah. Gotta include the ring of jumping.
So a couple
I
different
think
rings
that's
there.
it, though.
All right. I think that is it. Who wants to go next?
I can go since.
Yeah, I was about to say, if there's no volunteers, I'm going to start ordering people to describe their characters.
Aladrin is, I think it's like 6'7", very faint light blue skin. Since he's
Elvish.
Since
Well.
he's absolutely fucked elvish. His clothes are worn through because of all of the rapid traveling he's done, and so
Much of it underwater.
Yeah. At this point, he's probably going to buy like a surplus military uniform and have it dyed black with a blue trim.
Interesting.
If they have, surplus military uniforms available to be bought.
There are uniforms. They're not so much surplus. They're just the uniforms. But yeah, you can buy a new one.
Yeah, I'll buy one. And have it dyed. He always wears the Kraken skin cloak.
Mm-hmm.
Probably pays to have that taken care of as well. Cleaned, treated.
Yeah, gotta seal it. Gotta get the wax layer on there. Now, for that cloak, is that a full cloak or is it a half cloak? Is it a one shoulder cloak? What kind of cloak are we talking here?
I always imagined it being a full cloak.
Mm-hmm.
But with the damages and probably with multiple repairs, it's probably now just like a shoulder cloak.
All right. Anything else to add? What's the hair situation going? I know you don't have a beard.
Yeah, Aldrin probably has shaved the beard off either with hand axes or just from being breathed on by Tiamat.
Yeah, probably have a couple of bald spots from that.
Yeah.
Nice and sleek, like a swimmer.
The hair, it's I don't think he's ever gotten a haircut ever since way back, probably before he left home. It was probably one of the last things he got before he left home was a haircut. And so that's probably, it used to be tied back, and now that all of his fucking hair ties have probably been worn through or broken or damaged somehow, he just kind of lets it hang down to what I would assume is mid-back at this point.
Can I add an endearing thing?
Sure.
At various points, Adira has probably tried to braid your hair and at least settled with helping you tie it back in a similar natural kind of woven root hair tie that she uses as well.
Yeah.
She certainly seems to like the long hair.
Yeah, Algin appreciates it.
I dig it.
Yeah. All right. Anything else to add? Any body art? Any outstanding scars? Eye color? Anything you want to add?
Eye color is probably a stormy grayish color.
Nice.
As for scars. There's probably a very large one on his torso from where he was eaten by the Kraken.
Temporarily, yeah. Then there have been other various instances of extreme violence as well, but that's probably the most
Yeah.
outstanding.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else. Nothing else comes to mind, at least.
Okay, that's fine. Ormus and Lee, you two haven't gone.
Ormus, or do you want me to go ahead and go?
I can go, I guess. What's up?
How's your reception right now?
Good, I'm back home. I'm on Wi-Fi.
Cool.
Wonderful.
You can go ahead.
Well, we can save the best for last. I'll go first or next.
Yeah.
Ormus is probably close to 6 feet. He's got hair that goes down to mid back to shoulder. At this point, his elven ears don't really show. They have been kind of molded, go and stay in his hair. He's thin, but with definition. He's got his scale mail, his cloak now, actually. No other jewelry. His weapon, magical awesome sword of awesomeness.
Yep. That is what it's called on the sheet.
Yep. No earrings, no nose rings, no lip rings, or piercings. His eyes are a very emeraldy, bright green,
Mhm.
and hasn't shaven a day in his life because he doesn't have
Yeah. The benefits of being a half elf. But
full elf.
or a full elf even. Yeah. So basically just as nondescript as he could probably be. It seems like is that you could see this guy and then look away and be like, "Where was that guy?" He was like this tall and he had about hair. Otherwise, from that, it seems like he kind of would blend in most places pretty easily.
He kind of tries to, only because when he was younger, the reason why his ears are kind of molded to stay behind his or within his hair to not show it was because his father was embarrassed to have an elf son.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know.
Did I say the color of my hair?
You didn't. No.
Okay, it's kind of like mixed between dirty blonde and bright blonde.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right. Anything else you want to add? What does he usually wear? What is he wearing now?
Right now, just his scale mail, his pants, his sword, and his cloak.
Does he want to wear anything special to this dinner amongst dragons, or is he just going to go as he normally is? Oh yeah, you're right. You weren't there. Yeah. Never mind.
I kind of wanted to surprise the team when they got back with food.
You're going to show up and you're like, guys, I made dinner, and they're like, yeah, come on, we're going someplace else. Okay, we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that next week.
If I am going to a party, I mean, I've got regular clothes, probably just a clean button-up shirt and some regular leather pants.
I would like to note that you could bring it as a gift to the host.
It's like
if I'm even there when you get
dragons, they'll eat it. But yeah, they intended to go meet up at the cabin, so we'll deal with that next week. But remember that you just show up like, guys, they made dinner, and you're like, yeah, we're going elsewhere. It's like, the one time he did it. Anyway, so
I'm
Lee,
trying to be nice.
Yeah.
I love that so much. It's like I'm trying to be nice, and they're just immediately like, nope, we're going out to eat.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's nice. We're gonna go eat some results. Come on.
If you would, Lee, please, would you describe yourself?
Like Ormus, Lee is, very nondescript. That kind of is his character, is that he's, a background character. He's a guard. He's 5'6". He's actually on the shorter end for half elves. They're typically a couple inches taller than him. He's got, sandy colored hair, no beard, hazel colored eyes. Uh, what you would expect of a tan,
Mm-hmm.
and is also, he's got a half elf build, but he's also fairly muscular from years of like very hard training.
All right. Anything else to add? Any outstanding scars? Any body art? What is he wearing
Oh yeah.
for this special occasion?
He doesn't really have anything to wear to the special occasion. Um, he typically just wears his like pantaloons and like a tight uh, black under like kind of turtleneck sort of deal, just to keep his armor from chafing underneath.
Is it black or is it slightly darker black?
I don't understand.
Never mind, it's a joke. Never mind.
Is
I was
it
making a
darker than
reference
black?
to something else. I apologize. Continue.
It's black, but it's probably a little faded out, so maybe even gray because it's
Okay.
seen some wear and some travel.
Would Lee be looking for anything in particular while shopping?
I don't know.
That's fine.
Come
Yeah.
shopping with us?
What?
Did you come shopping with us?
I guess I would. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's fine. You could just attend. That's perfectly okay. Anything else you would like to add?
He's probably he's a half elf, so he doesn't have very pointed ears, but he definitely looks like a kind of an exact cross between the most stereotypical human and most stereotypical elf. Just kind of a little bit shorter and a little bit broader.
All right. Is
No
there
beard, peach fuzz?
just a little bit of peach fuzz?
Yeah, because he can't grow a beard.
He just keeps trying, you know.
He has human blood, but he just has like a kid face. It just
Yeah. At some point, he heard from a from a dwarven trader that if you rub the fish skin in, it'll really make the beard come in. The fish oil really helps with the beard, and so occasionally leaves maybe just a little bit of fish oil, a little bit of it. It never seems to help though.
Yeah.
Anyway, is there anything else that anyone else would like to add about their character? Anything else outstanding?
Did forget about scars for anybody who's seen me nude.
Oh boy.
I
Which
have.
unfortunately is a large portion of the party. There's probably a lot of scars.
Yeah, everybody's scarred mentally after that. Yeah, just on my back.
Yeah,
Like
lots
somebody
of
was
scars
trying to hide something that they didn't want someone else to see.
inside of your rib cage.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm sorry, wait, can that do wait, what I need that scar described one more time.
Looks
Go
like
on,
somebody might have taken a belt that he'd used too many times across his back, too many times, and probably a couple of scars to where a few broken ribs might have popped out of.
Some lashings, basically.
Essentially, yeah.
I don't know about ribs popping out, but definitely lashes for sure.
He
I mean,
got carried away when he was drunk.
I don't think there were secondary, like the fractures. No, they weren't. No, not ribs popping out of your skin.
I said maybe.
Anyway, lots of lash scars on his.
Yes. I was a little shit, and some of them I deserved.
Also, I
Why?
imagine Ormus has the scar on his neck.
Yep, he's got a
Oh,
scar
yeah.
across his
Yeah.
neck from where his throat was cut by his little gremlin demon friend or devil.
Yeah,
friend.
I forgot that never went away.
Yeah, well, it somewhat went away. And if anyone is curious as well, Lee does still have a wound on his stomach that has yet to heal from where he was stabbed by Aladrin, if I recall correctly, in the
Yeah.
fight with the mayor here.
Yeah.
I need to cast Greater Restoration on that soon.
It's starting to smell a little bit. Yeah. No, it doesn't smell. It seems perfectly fine. Like it doesn't even hurt. It's just there.